Well, in your computer, not mine.
Jesus Christ.
Okay. Are we recording, Ronak?
Christ!
That has to be the beginning of
you're
the little
sweating
clip.
there,
We got to
pal.
put that on Instagram.
I'm wet.
Welcome to the Ringer Fantasy Football Show. My name is Danny Heifetz, and I'm joined in person by Danny Kelly and Craig Horlbeck. We were in New York City, in the World Trade Center and Spotify headquarters. DK has never been to New York City before, so
The Big Apple.
That's what they all say.
yeah,
The
I'm
big-
walking here. That's it.
Hey, I've slapped so many car hoods.
Yeah. You can't hail a cab to save your damn life.
So-
Teach me the form.
follow us on Ringer Fantasy Football on Instagram if you want, or on Instagram at Ringer Fantasy Football if you want to see our behind the scenes. DK, we're just feeding him food and teaching him how to jaywalk and stuff. And so we're doing that. We're in our
very
live
stressful.
show. Excited
You
for the
ordered
live
bacon,
show
egg, and
Tuesday.
cheese today. Hold the bacon.
that
So it's off to a
was-
rough start.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal. Yeah. I will say also in New York City, they let us do Amy Poehler's studio. This is where she does
Yeah,
Good Hang with Amy
Good Hang.
Poehler. This is her ficus.
You're in her spot.
behind me. I am. I'm in
Idris
Amy.
Elba's going to join us soon.
Yeah, we have Idris Elba here.
All
We're
the
really
guests are
excited
just
for
right
him.
outside. They all just
Yeah.
stay here.
Yeah.
And then we also get to, it's preseason week 2 winners. Like there are a lot of players that looked really good. A lot of players have gotten hurt since we last did a show. So going through all the injuries, going through all the guys who look good, and we're running back deep cuts, sleepers. We kind of decided on a few guys we really like at sleepers. And then also, more importantly, Taylor Swift. We have a low stakes conspiracy theory on Taylor Swift. And then also, most importantly of all, we have an update on Jelly the Bear.
A verdict, an alleged verdict.
Allegedly alive. The Turtleback Zoo
the
went
jury's
live on
still
Instagram
out.
with the
Yeah.
bear. We have a bear update. All that. We, kind of have to we do the football first, and then we have the bear update. So that's coming. But yeah, so we're very excited. Going to get to all of that, but first we're going to take a quick break. This episode of the Ringer Fantasy Football Show is presented by Hyundai. Get into the Hyundai Getaway sales event and get away with a deal so right it almost feels wrong. You can get huge savings on their adventure-ready SUVs like the Hyundai Santa Fe and Santa Fe Hybrid models. Or go all-electric and choose from America's most awarded EV lineup like the Breakthrough Ioniq 5 or Ioniq 6. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for details. Offers end September 2nd, 2025. We have to go through a tremendous amount of things that have happened over the last week since we last recorded together. And I think we should just get into it because, contracts have been signed, hamstrings have been pulled. We'll get later. The zoo that was hiding the black
my
bear did a
God.
live
Bears have been allegedly
Jelly the Bear.
found.
They did in a live stream with Jelly the Bear. We have a lot to get to.
Proof
but
of life for Jelly, sort of.
Craig,
I
you've
guess.
been on vacation, so you got to pull your weight here. Just take us through, honestly, just take us through all the preseason games and everything.
This is the last week of preseason that matters. The next week, it's going to be no starters. There was actually a lot of action this week, a lot of quarterbacks that we had questions about played this week, which is a great place to start. So Caleb played last night, Sunday night.
He's earned one
I like
name.
that we just
He's
call
earned
him
one
Caleb.
name, Caleb Williams.
The mononym.
Well, he's the only Caleb. If his
That's
name was,
fair.
If his name was Matt, it wouldn't work, but Caleb works.
He lost 10 games in a row last season. He gets one. He's like Ichiro now. We're going to call him one name.
Yeah. Caleb, last night, played against
I'll
the
allow
Bills.
it.
Caleb looked really good. He had 2 series in his first drive. He had a 93-yard drive and a touchdown. In total, his stat line, he finished 6 for 10, 107 yards and a touchdown. His touchdown was a 35-yard throw to Olamide Zaccheaus.
Sleeper.
This is a real, everybody breathe.
Yeah.
The Bears are the it's so over, we're so back team already.
100%.
Like every 3 days on social media, it is like the Bears are
Yeah.
screwed, Caleb's a bust, and wait a minute, actually Ben Johnson's going to fix all of this. I was today early at the gym.
Flex.
I were at the gym together, no big deal.
Well, we were together. We didn't acknowledge
Together
each
but
We did that. Have you heard of astronaut time for relationships? It's like when you're living together. But you
You go
pretending
over there, I go over there.
one astronaut's over there.
Yeah.
And so we did. We didn't acknowledge each other. in the
No,
gym.
I was on the treadmill. Heifetz was hitting the weights,
Wow.
no big
Like
deal.
Dumbbells and stuff?
But Get Up was on. Is gym TV, as
But
I
they
call
don't
it.
put the captions on the gym TVs, so it's just like you just watching a screen,
Yeah,
but
they're-
you don't know
but-
what they're saying.
You know the
But-
takes are good, though.
I want to ask you guys the same question that they asked Dan Orlovsky and the
Okay.
Get Up crew.
Sure.
What did Caleb Williams prove last night? And I'm going to add my own, if anything at all.
I would say maybe not proof is a strong word. He gave me a lot of confidence, more confidence that he can play on time. And that was the big thing when he was dropping, and they were playing under center. They were doing rollouts. They were doing things like that where, it's not just in shotgun, and he's doing his thing and running around and trying to make a play happen, which was, I feel like, a lot of last year. He was hitting his back foot, getting the ball out, going over the middle of the field, and just playing in rhythm that I feel like we only saw in small spurts last year. It was like he had a couple of really good games where he kind of was like feeling it. In this game, it just looked crisp and in rhythm. And that was something I feel like we rarely saw last year. So I was really, really encouraged by that.
Yeah, he looked like Jared Goff.
Right.
Yeah.
He was just sitting in the pocket,
Just
ripping
fire,
passes
yeah,
over
just
the middle
ripping passes. Yeah.
to Cole Kmet and to Zacchaeus and to whoever. And Heifetz, how much are you? Because you have been pretty public the last couple of weeks about how you're kind of out on the Bears. I love preseason the most because this is like he threw 10 passes and he completed 6 of them. Yeah. Are you now changing your entire opinion because of last
Literally,
night?
I'm totally in on the Bears now. No, I think what I want to be clear that I think I've been out on the Bears necessarily for fantasy because I think that actually Ben Johnson will fix this team, but I'm a little out on the whole thing being fixed in year 1 of this whole experiment. Like
you don't fix a team ever though. I mean, like it's not like all of a sudden we're fixed.
It's tough.
It's going to be gradual.
Exactly. It's tough because on one hand, the biggest change there is in the NFL is going from a really bad coach to a great coach, which is what we all think the Patriots are going to be good because Gerard Mayo to Mike Vrabel is a huge change. And back in the day when the Niners went from like Mike Singletary to Jim Harbaugh, it's like the team that had, 4 wins, 3 wins, went to like the NFC Championship game. So it does happen sometimes. But the flip side is when there are as many issues as Chicago had, Caleb Williams has to develop. I mean, Roma Dunze's out here saying we might not learn the offense in year 1 entirely. Yeah. However, to your point about what did Caleb prove, I think the question has been basically for Caleb Williams, it's been, to your point, can you play on time? Which what that means is football, the passing game, ever since Bill Walsh last 40 years as the West Coast, is the footwork of the quarterback is tied to the footwork of the receiver. It's dancing, it's timing. And so you have to be tied. But what Caleb Williams did under Lincoln Riley at USC is jazz. It's like, it's like, Lincoln Riley's kind of a vibes coach, and it's like, yeah, you'll figure it out. Like, it's going to be chill. Like, here's plan A, but you got a riff, it's fine.
Which is kind of just relying on raw physical talent.
Raw physical talent and vibes and athleticism. I'm going to recruit the best quarterbacks,
and
they're going to figure it out. Yeah. And so then Ben Johnson, what he was doing in Detroit, was like an orchestra. Like, it was so well done. Like,
not quite my tempo. It's like he's like the drum teacher, yeah.
Exactly. And so the question is, can Ben Johnson adapt to someone who's not Jared Goff and is not 6'5" and going to play in this offense? And I think I don't know what halfway is between jazz and orchestra, but it feels like a really cool rock band. That is to me what I saw. They proved to me that Ben Johnson can do something in Caleb Williams' skill set, and that Caleb Williams can be a little closer to Goff, and they can do it in the preseason. I would like to see that.
Was he sacked
in a real game?
I don't think he was sacked.
I don't know.
He got the ball out way faster. So I mean, that's the simpler answer is he got the ball out a second and a half. He took 3.5 seconds on average to throw every goddamn football last year, and he threw the ball in under 2 seconds like 4 times. That alone is great.
I would like to announce that I'm back in on the Bears.
Yeah,
he's back, baby.
Yeah, I think I am. I saw him throw 3 passes.
Doesn't it also feel like I think Caleb is the type of player who really benefits from positive momentum, or he's really affected by momentum, kind of like mentally and personally. To me, he seems like the type of guy where if he can parlay a couple good games together and the train gets moving, it's going to be really hard to stop that momentum. And I think once he starts to feel confident and he can just start playing and stop thinking, he'll be really good. Right. But it's the same way in the other direction, where if things start to go poorly, you get in your own head, you start overthinking, it'll go really badly. I do think that he's kind of a little bit more volatile in that sense, and that if like a couple games work out and he gets maybe even like a lucky bounce that wins them a game or something like that, it's enough to really get Caleb going, and he could take off earlier than I think.
Kind of like, so you're saying if they hit adversity, it's bad. Kind of like, I don't know, just to make it up, like if you lose in a Hail Mary, you lose 10 straight games.
Exactly.
After that. Like,
yeah.
Got it.
That was rough, man.
Remember the time they lost 10 games after Hail Mary?
Does it remind you at all of, do you remember the narratives? And Jared Goff and Caleb Williams are different style of quarterbacks, but both top picks.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they are. Both top picks, both pretty atrocious in their first year in the NFL. And then now you're seeing, like, Sean McVay came in and basically Goff looked completely different.
Yeah, from the Jeff Fisher.
Right. And then I'm hoping this is what we see sort of in the Ben Johnson offense. Like, it's just the detail. And this is what we've heard during training camp and why you probably were kind of like out on them is there's just been consistently negative reports every training camp practice.
Well, everyone's just like, this is really hard.
Yeah.
This is a great.
It's like planning for the LSAT in a month, and you're like, okay, maybe, but it's also difficult.
This is why I've been so stubborn about Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville, people giving up on him. It's why I'm still stubborn about Anthony Richardson, where, again, you're right. Jared Goff is a good example of how he played in Detroit. We're mad Jared Goff didn't make the Super Bowl last year, basically. Jared Goff was a salary dump to the Lions. And then Baker Mayfield on the Bucks, Baker Mayfield, who were like, oh, yeah, 3 coordinators, not a problem. Baker Mayfield was salary dumped from the Panthers. So I'm not giving up on any of these guys. That's a good point. Other team that looked really good, the Seahawks looked really good for the drive and a half, basically. They played starters.
I'm trying not to overreact.
Preseason's the best.
I know, it's awesome.
Best offense ever. This reminds me so much of the first 2 weeks of the Saints last year.
Sure.
Where you couldn't do anything to stop them. Like the Saints
Clint
offense.
Kubiak, the two-pump chump.
I don't think I can die.
Did you fall off the roof?
You sailor, you.
Yeah. Clint looks great in warm-ups, doesn't he?
But I will say the scheme really does feel very different. There's a different identity. They want to run the football. They're doing a lot of play action stuff. It's just it feels so much different. And this is like the classic preseason thing. I saw this from Ian Hartitz. According to the charting, I don't know where he got this, but yards before contact.
Mm-hmm.
The Seahawks are 4th in the 2025 preseason. They were 30th last year.
Yeah, which is like a huge sign of scheme and offensive line
right.
skill.
But Gray Zabel, I think, obviously they've made multiple
they
changes. They drafted this guy in the first round, and he's looked awesome. Jalen Sundell, their center, has looked really good too. Basically, I'm starting to have a little bit of hope that this run game will completely change the Seahawks offense. I'm starting to buy into it a little bit. Every back that's played for the Seahawks so far in the preseason looks really good. Zach Charbonnet has looked awesome in this last game. Damian Martinez, their rookie out of Miami, looks pretty good. And George Holani, who is, I think, a second-year player, has like run for a bunch of yards. Yeah. So it's like, it's not just like one guy who looks good or whatever. It is kind of just this offense feels like it's really clicking. So I don't know. I'm starting to get excited.
How do we feel about, so Charbonnet had another big day. Kenneth Walker hurt. This is 4 straight seasons with a foot issue for Kenneth Walker. He's had multiple injuries. He's had like a oblique injury, which is always somewhat worrisome. He's one of the few players where people always say you can't be injury prone. Players aren't injury prone. You just get hurt. Kenneth Walker might be injury prone.
Right.
I am out on Ken Walker just because he's so fun to watch when he's healthy. I am officially kind of like, I kind of can't handle like a running back with foot issues for the entirety of the season. Meanwhile, with Zach Charbonnet, I just think I'm looking at, we have him 118th, which is, basically like, 10th, 11th round. We need to move him up 25 spots because I just feel like Zach Charbonnet is so, like, any game that Ken Walker misses is so clearly the number 1 back in Seattle, and Seattle's running back game is going to go from bottom 4 to top 4.
I mean, even if you look at last year when the running game was bottom 5, Charbonnet, when Kenneth Walker was out, was a top 12 running back straight up. Charbonnet was just in that top 12 group every week.
There's a weird quirk, and I'm probably going to mention this a lot over the next couple of weeks of shows, but I did a lot of diving into like basically what are like very basic differences and values of like ESPN and Yahoo or Sleeper or wherever you have your rankings. And for whatever reason, ESPN has ranked Zach Charbonnet like 133rd. So like that's like what is that? Like a 11th round pick, 12th round pick, and he's like 40 spots higher in Yahoo, 40 spots higher in Sleeper, and like that's where I want to be. I think Charbonnet is. I mean, like, we use this term maybe too much, but Charbonnet to me is a league-winning player. We already know it's August. Kenneth Walker has a foot injury.
He was back at practice this week.
But, like, they don't go away. You're a running back. It doesn't get better.
Snip, snap.
It's a foot injury. Like, he's a running back. I don't know.
He's literally had 4 straight years of his foot
it's like
injury.
His foot, he just has a foot problem.
His foot hurts all the time.
His foot, he's constantly
He's got to play some.
We got to move him up.
Yeah, Charbonnet is the running back 36, and Walker's the running back 16.
I literally did a podcast that with Sheil Kapadia, co-host here at The Ringer, and I picked the Cardinals to win to make the playoffs. Not win the Super Bowl, sorry, make the playoffs. And then I saw the Seahawks play, and I was like, God, that was stupid. I should have picked the Seahawks. It is. Another person who looked really good, I thought, was Cam Ward for the Titans.
Hell yeah.
Cam Ward, good example of when you're golfing sometimes and you're like, I shot terribly, but I played well.
Yeah.
Cam Ward's stat lines, like he completed 2 of 7 passes, looked pretty bad, but he has sick throw to Van Jefferson that Van Jefferson did not catch, but it was awesome. He had another sick throw along the sideline that was called back for like holding or something stupid, but it was an awesome throw. And then like a good throw on 3rd and 3, but the cornerback like had a smart pass interference that like was not slick and was not called. And I'm like, Cam Ward hasn't been pressured a ton, and the Titans' offensive line, if it's basically, it's the preseason, maybe there's going to be more exotic blitzes. But if the Titans' offensive line's good, Cam Ward in the backfield, I'm bullish. I'm not saying the Titans are going to be great or make the playoffs or anything, but I'm really into Cam. I think he's going to be like a very exciting player.
I do too. The Titans are on my short list of. There's like the sleeper teams that aren't really the sleeper teams. Everyone's like the Bears. Those are the obvious ones, but there's always one team that truly comes out of nowhere and makes the playoffs.
Nobody believes in the Titans right now.
It's going to be the Titans. It's going to be the Panthers. It's going to be potentially the New York Giants. There are certain like teams that are truly in that group, and I think the Titans are one of them. I also just think Cam Ward. Sometimes you just know when somebody has an intangible, an X factor aura, as Gen Z likes to say.
He has aura.
He has aura. And you know who kind of doesn't to me is Caleb Williams. For how cool Caleb Williams is on the field, for his style of play, for how flashy he is, all that stuff. When you see Caleb Williams in an interview, when you see him at practice versus Cam Ward looks like he walked into Titans camp and was like, this is my team. I'm going to motivate everybody here. My speeches are awesome. He's already recruiting players to come with him, get there early and work out, get there early and start practicing before everybody shows up. Like even if he doesn't end up being an amazing quarterback, he seems like he's already a leader.
So
and I buy into that.
So you're saying Cam Ward has aura, but Caleb Williams is an aura farmer.
Yeah, perhaps.
Okay. We'll explain that to DK after the show. We'll put that on. We're going to bring back the Gen Z spelling bee. If you have Gen Z spelling,
I keep hearing about that. When are we doing that?
Well, Kai's moving to. He's not here. Yeah. So
okay, can we talk about another guy who surprised me because he has aura?
Yeah.
Is Jackson Dart.
Jackson
fucking Dart has aura. He has it. I don't know.
Craig,
he's
goddamn
cool.
right.
Did you say, because you said last year, I think that Caleb Williams is the first Gen Z quarterback or whatever.
Yes.
I kind of understand what that means, but when I see Jackson Dart, I'm like, this guy's Gen Z.
Jackson Dart,
he has a literal mullet.
Jackson Dart is the first good Gen Z quarterback.
This guy looks like a youth to me. He's just a youth. He has like, his style is really an interest. Did you see him in his post-game presser? He's got like, he just has a crazy look to him. And I'm saying that,
what are you trying to say?
I'm recognizing very much that I sound like a boomer. He just has a crazy style.
Sure.
Well, he does the Star Wars. He does the eye black to remind himself he wants to look like Anakin Skywalker for the prequels, which is funny because then Abdul Carter is such a star. He's a Darth Vader guy. He wrote Darth Vader on his eye black for the Orange Bowl.
Yeah.
Which mostly, first of all, the fact that Giants have 2 first-round picks obsessed with the Star Wars prequels, I'm like, that's pretty good for Star Wars. Like these kids were even barely alive when those movies were made. So Star Wars, not maybe they're not making enough content. You ever thought of that?
I think they are. They
probably are.
They're willingly pulling back because they realize they went too hard.
Here's the biggest thing that's changed between when I last did a show with Craig and now. When Craig left, I was like, man, I think the Giants are going to have like the best defensive line in football. I'm not saying the Giants are going to win the Super Bowl, but like the Giants, every Super Bowl, all 4 times the Giants ever won the Super Bowl, their defensive line looked like this.
DK's just looking at photos of Jackson Dart.
This guy.
Dude,
Dude,
well, you know what? So
like,
Jameis
he looks
Winston,
like he's walking around Venice Boulevard on a Saturday.
So Jameis was
he
asked.
might be.
Jameis was asked about being on the Giants. You know what Jameis said? He said the white boys here have spice because it's Jackson Dart looking like that, Tommy DeVito, and Cam Scadaboo. And he's like, yeah, they got flavor.
Yeah.
And I was like, they do though. Like
Dart looks
like,
good.
This
Dart
is
looks
like
good.
this is, as a 42-year-old man, I'm like, I wouldn't even know how to have a conversation with this guy. I don't know. What am I going to say to this kid?
I like your feathered
my
hair.
fellow youth. Hello, my fellow kid. It's like
You're like, is Jackson Dart a stage name or what's up?
Yeah, and also his name is the most Gen Z name.
Jaxson.
Jackson.
Yeah, Jackson Dart.
How
Dude,
much-
also the dart emoji, because you can do the bullseye, but also you could do the cigarette.
I mean,
Which
look,
is a great.
if he works out,
I
one of the better quarterback names we've ever had.
In all seriousness, the Dart looks good, and like I was skeptical of him, but he looked the parts
he's
I'm
all
in.
in.
So
He is all
here's
in.
what's changed.
I'm kind of making.
Everyone's coming
Here's
around.
what's
I'm
changed.
holding myself down to not jump on the train.
I'm so in on this team.
I'm in.
Abdul Carter is Micah Parsons.
Playoffs is truly poison.
Dart though.
Preseason,
Remember?
you mean?
Yeah, sorry. Remember Kenny Pickett? Do we remember Kenny Pickett?
No, but like
I know.
I'm just saying.
He
Jackson
was like
Dart,
11 for 11.
He was incredible in the preseason, and everyone's like, "We knew it was going to take a year." He's like a professional.
Joe Montana.
He's gritty. He's in his home.
we never
sport.
said that. You said that.
We all acknowledge that he looked good. Stop. Play the tape.
No.
Ronak,
don't.
play the
Fuck
tape.
that. No, play Jackson Dart. Dart looked, he can move. The deep ball's good. And like the runner, look, the part of Daniel Jones that was exciting in the beginning, people forget Jones got bad because Jones was really a good runner. He was physical, and he had good deep ball. The part of Daniel Jones that gets left out is he had a neck injury, a spinal injury, and he lost his deep ball.
And he tore his ACL.
And he tore his ACL. So suddenly less athleticism, not a deep ball. And now you're just
Multiple
like a
injuries.
shitty Alex Smith. Jackson Dart, still, like, he's a good runner with a good arm. You know, not the Ole Miss offense is not the most advanced thing, but I'm like, you know what? I'm like Russell Wilson. What's going to happen is Russell Wilson's going to play the first half of the season or whenever, and then Dart's going to come in, and he's actually going to throw over the middle of the field. It's going to be like a revelation. Anyway, I'm so excited about
I think
Dart.
that
He looks
it's
great.
interesting because the Dart offense is very different from the Russell Wilson offense in terms of what they're
Totally
trying to do, trying to accomplish, like the way that they run it.
Dude,
And
Dart,
not for nothing, but Russell Wilson's look pretty sharp.
stop.
We can't get into this.
He
right
has.
now. Stop.
He has.
No, stop.
No.
By week,
You're telling me to stop.
yeah, I am.
All right, pal.
You're like looking back on your
Jackson
ex,
Dart,
and you're like, you
future
know what? She was
Hall of
actually
Fame.
pretty great.
He had like an 80-yard touchdown pass.
Stop.
was-
It's going to be week 4, and he's going to be terrible, and people are going to be begging for Jackson Dart. I think Dart is going to play
They
much
want
sooner
something
than people
different.
think.
That's the thing.
I know the Giants' schedule is really hard, and they got unlucky, and that there's no time that makes sense for Dart to come in until like week 12. I don't know, man. I think it's going to be hard to deny him after watching Russell Wilson for the first month.
I drafted Jackson Dart in a draft this weekend.
Yeah.
So in a 1-quarterback league.
I mean, it has
Oh, I know it is Superflex, but yeah, still.
It's like you have the D line is incredible. You got Malik Neighbors, the offensive line, Dart.
I just want to say
Hardest. Yeah.
The Giants are a month away
quick,
from being like,
real
holy
quick.
Scadaboo's like kind of doing things. You're like, man, they could be kind of sneaky frisky.
Okay. I just want to say.
I'm way more closer to Heifetz
I
than
know,
wherever you are.
I'm not trying to convince you otherwise. I just want to say, put it on the record to have it out there, that regular season football, especially the defense, looks very different.
La 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 la.
My
la.
spidey
Very
senses
different.
are tingling with Dart.
Okay.
I just want to say it.
Speaking of Spidey senses, Ashton Genty for the Raiders. I won't lie.
Yeah.
I was a little worried when the first game he had like negative yards against
on.
Seattle. I was a little concerned.
Yeah, and
I
then
got the ick.
the second game he was a little bit better.
Well, the Seahawks defense might just be great, but he did truck the Niners cornerback Diamador Lenoir. I don't know. I'm not going to. It's like a French. I don't know. Diamador Lenoir, but he got like rocked, and I was like, that's the guy I know. And I'm like, all right, Genty's going to be good.
Do you think if Genty only played in week 1 of the preseason, his draft stock would have dropped?
Maybe like a few picks.
I bet.
Like a few picks.
A little. It's just like weird to be like, oh, he had negative yards in the preseason. That's weird.
Yeah.
But I just think the
You
Seahawks
think
defense
it's weird,
is good.
says the guys who are all in on Jackson Dart.
Yeah.
Those are separate things, DK.
But he looked good, and Genty looked bad. We're acknowledging what we saw. It's like very consistent logic.
Did Genty, DK, you're big on Genty, you're our draft expert. In week 2, where he played a little bit better, he played a little more, does Genty look like you thought he was going to look in the pros?
I mean, I don't.
Unstoppable is the
Right. I don't. He hasn't looked like different than what I expected.
Wait, he hasn't looked. So he does look as advertised.
He looks about like what I was expecting. Yes.
I think the thing with Genty is
like, wait,
he
what?
hasn't not looked
hasn't
the same as what I was. Yeah.
I think what Craig's saying is no one wanted to criticize the Genty pick because we're like, yeah, you shouldn't take a running back that high, but this guy's sick.
Yes.
And I think that this season will probably be a reminder that your offensive line matters a lot. And both Genty can be really good. And again, there's salary bullshit that we don't have to get into in the middle of August when the season's about to be here. But basically, I am a little worried that the Raiders' offensive line, but he's still going to get so many touches. And I do think his upside as a receiver is really underrated.
Mm-hmm. I think he's properly ranked kind of the end of round 1, beginning of round 2.
Kind of going to let other people have Genty. It's kind of where I've decided.
It's so funny, though, because
gonna let other people
if he
do it.
broke one 30-yard run in the preseason, I think I'd be like,
Well, he broke one 30-yard run. Anyway,
First overall.
he sent Diamador Lenoir into another stratosphere.
what I wanted to ask, what is the absolute worst career comp Genty could have that would make him not a bust? Like if he had Josh Jacobs' career, when he's 28 years old, he's had Josh Jacobs' career. Is he a bust or no?
Disappointment, not a bust.
Yeah, I mean the
I think disappointment is a bust.
expectations are high. Yeah, this is fine. Change it to disappointment.
No,
he's thinking
Trent
of Trent
Richardson
Richardson.
is a bust.
Fine,
Yeah,
yeah,
but like
relatively disappointing is what he's saying.
If you're
Right.
spending, what was he, 5th or 6th pick?
6th pick, yeah.
Like if he has Josh Jacobs' career as the 6th pick,
No, that's
not
not
what you
chill.
want.
Right.
So Josh Jacobs is not good enough. So
he has to be in the.
What if he's
like,
Ezekiel
He has to be
Elliott?
in the Ezekiel Elliott, Todd Gurley, Christian
yeah.
McCaffrey, that tier. I think to live up to his
deliver.
draft. Yeah, his draft.
Do you agree with that?
total. I think he can be.
I mean,
like,
McCaffrey's
Gurley
kind of
I
has
think
to be
that should be the
I
expectation.
mean, McCaffrey
Gurley-
is the best running back in the league. Gurley's the best running back
Yeah,
in
they
the league.
won
He needs-
Offensive Player of the Year. You win Offensive Player of the Year one time, then the pick was justified.
So
I
you're
think
saying
I think that
he needs
has
to
to
be,
be
What was the first name you
expectation.
said? I thought that was like, fair.
Zeke. I think Zeke makes
Zeke-
more sense. 'Cause
Zeke's-
I don't think Zeke was ever the best running back in the league.
Zeke is tough because it's a
system?
statistical comp because he went to the best offensive line in
Right.
the NFL. I think a better comp, honestly, I think the floor is probably, honestly, Jonathan Taylor. I'm not saying Ashton Genty is necessarily that kind of guy, but Jonathan Taylor, like, I don't think Colts fans don't like Jonathan Taylor. I also think if Jonathan Taylor had been drafted 6th, he'd be disappointing. He was a second-round pick,
Second
so it's like,
rounder,
I mean, the Chiefs took Clyde Edwards-Helaire over Jonathan Taylor. Huge mistake. But if Jonathan Taylor had gone 6th, you're like, I don't know if this guy's, but that to me is probably the worst player where you're like, oh, I'm still okay with this.
I think, though, from the fantasy point of view, what I was just about to say, too, and that this segues really well to that, is basically, I think you need to expect that he's going to have the type of production that we've seen from some of these other top 12, top 15 picks, where he's a high-end RB1.
He was a receiver in high school,
mid
right?
to high-end RB1.
I do think
He was
worst
a
case.
slot receiver in high school.
Yes.
That's what matters to me is he can
He
catch
can
a football.
passes. He just wasn't
He
asked to.
replaced-
Boise State.
Who's it that
Oh,
he
some
replaced?
random teammate that was good. Oh, let's do
in
our favorite
Texas?
thing. Reminding. Oh, this is where all the podcast.
Did he
listeners
replace
goes.
Marvin Mims?
Yes, it was Marvin
It
Mims.
was Marvin Mims.
Who had the
Oh,
most,
as
set
a
the record.
receiver?
As a
Yeah.
most
receiver.
receiving yards in the history of Texas
Yes.
high school football, and he replaced
And he
Marvin
replaced
Mims, and he replaced Mims.
This is a good segue into another rookie. Tyler Warren, the tight end for the Colts, has looked great
Is
in
it
2 weeks.
I've seen enough.
Yeah, for
He
sure.
was so the Colts took him, I think, 14th out
Uh-huh.
of Penn State. Warren is dangerously close to like I've seen enough.
Well-
I do feel like I've seen enough. Like this guy.
Yeah.
I want to give one stat over the 2 games he's played in the preseason. The Colts starters have played 35 snaps, and Tyler Warren has been on the field for 34 of them.
I love that.
I think Tyler Warren is like going to be not just my, but like our show sleeper tight end of like if you're listening to this before your draft, get Tyler Warren and make him your number 2 tight end if you want. But like you should probably just have Tyler Warren.
Yeah.
on your
Right
team.
now in drafts, he's going like we have him around like round 11-ish, and he's going after guys like Jake Ferguson, Evan Ingram, and Tucker Kraft. He's going right before guys like Colson Loveland, Dalton Kincaid, and Kyle Pitts. Should he be? Do you think he should now be kind of elevated into the Jake Ferguson, Evan Ingram, Tucker Kraft, and Njoku Kelsey tier?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, to
I
me,
think so,
easily
too.
because of something we had a conversation on the way here about the nature of sleepers and stuff. And if there's something we could probably do a better job of is like highlighting underline bolding players when it's like, no, but like the high range of outcome for this guy is top 4.
It's not just that like he could return some value where you're drafting him. I think Tyler Warren has as good a chance as anybody to be like the tight end 4 this year, which is there's
Yes.
the big 3, right? You have Kittle, you have Brock
Bowers
Bowers, and
and
then you have Trey
McBride.
McBride.
Yeah.
I think Warren could legitimately come in and be 4th this year. He checks a lot of boxes, right? He's going to play a ton, which is like honestly one of the biggest things for tight end is just
Running
how
a lot of
often are they
routes.
on the field and
Right.
running routes. He has no clear high-end competition, which is also huge with tight ends. You need a guy who's like the number 1 guy or the number 2 guy on a really good offense. He has the chance to be the number 1 guy. And you can't say that for somebody like Colson Loveland, who is surrounded by a
Yes.
ton of talent.
And Tyler Warren set the single game record for catches in an FBS college football game by a tight end. Literally, I forget if it was
16 or 17.
17. He had 17 catches in a game, which literally is the most any tight end has ever had in an FBS football game.
That USC game.
Versus USC. And just the point being, Nate Tice, our buddy Nate Tice, who's at Yahoo and does great stuff, made a great point that basically Tyler Warren got typecast as like a George Kittle. And I swear to God, it's because George Kittle and Jeremy Shockey have long hair. So they were like good blockers who could catch. Tyler Warren is actually like, he's not quite an Evan Ingram, but he's not like some advanced blocker. He is a receiving tight end. And I'm dead serious, the long hair throws people off. But he is going to be catching balls, and you kept comparing to Dallas Goedert, and we get the ick. But the point being, Shane Steichen, coach of the Colts, who came
Imagine
from
if
the Eagles.
Steichen didn't have A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. though.
Exactly, because when Shane Steichen was the coordinator of the Eagles, the first one that went to the Super Bowl and lost to the Chiefs, that team,
Zach Ertz.
their thing that season was Dallas Goedert screens. They were like just spamming these Dallas Goedert
was
screens.
it not Zach Ertz? That's my bad.
Zach Ertz was on Arizona at the time. We thought he was going to be.
In 17?
No, sorry. There were 3 Eagles Super Bowls. I said first time. That's my fault.
Oh.
The Eagles won the Super Bowl in 17. That wasn't Steichen. Steichen was there in 2022 and they lost to the
Yes,
Chiefs.
you're talking
no,
about
you were
the-
right.
the-
Ertz,
yeah,
Ertz
sure.
won that game. You were right. So the second, God, the Eagles have made 3 Super Bowls. Fuck.
It kind
That's
of
crazy.
flies under the radar
That's
actually, like how
crazy.
dominant the Eagles
That's
have been.
insane.
Because it's been 2 completely different regimes, so I feel like you don't really think about both of
I
them.
know. So, but the point being that when they went to the Super Bowl and they lost to the Chiefs, and that was like a great game. The Goddard that season was so many screens. And to your point, what if Tyler Warren just gets all those Dallas Goddard screens, but all those like slants by A.J. Brown are also Tyler Warren? The bar is so low for him to be a good tight end. And so there is a pattern of like the elite. It's been 3 or 4. Kyle Pitts had a first 1,000-yard thing in 60 years. Brock Bowers just had the most catches ever by a rookie. Sam Laporta. We are seeing elite tight ends every year for the first time ever be good as rookies. So yeah, I really think we should like officially stamp Tyler Warren as one of like our favorite players this year.
He's fucking huge. He's so big out there. He looks big even in
larger than life.
Even in the NFL.
I think it's people are scared of the quarterback thing. And we could talk about Anthony Richardson versus Daniel Jones at some point in this show, but I think it's mainly just people are look at the quarterback situation. They're like, I'm out. But I think Tyler Warren actually has a higher floor than people think because I think he's going to get like 3 or 4 schemed up plays a game.
Well, and he's the perfect match to Anthony Richardson because his catch radius is so big. Like Anthony Richardson can literally be inaccurate and he'll still catch it.
Yeah. That's a good
real.
Point.
They should that's why they have Michael Pittman. They're just drafting as big as people as possible.
That's why Michael Pittman has a bad back because the balls keep
he's
pelting him. Yeah.
Hospital balls.
Yeah. Couple other things that happened. So the Browns named Joe Flacco the starter. Also the Colts thing.
Should we talk about that? Yeah.
He's going to name his starter soon. I feel like by the time this comes out, we might even have one. What do you think? I mean,
so the first game Anthony Richardson started, and then Daniel Jones came in after, I believe, right?
Because Richardson got rocked.
Got lit up.
Right. Oh, that's right. He broke his pinky. And then, sorry, I didn't mean to laugh about that. It's not like funny.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, do it. Make fun of the player being hurt.
And then Daniel Jones started this last weekend, preseason week 2. And Anthony Richardson came in after. My impression, and maybe this is, I'm probably a little bit biased, but I said it before though. I think if it's even close, they got to go Richardson. Even if Richardson is like a little bit worse than Daniel Jones, they still got to go Richardson. They have so much draft capital tied up in him. His potential is absolutely still through the roof.
It's more embarrassing if they start
like,
Daniel Jones and then have to
100%.
bench Daniel Jones to put Anthony Richardson back in.
I have an idea. You guys ready?
Oh, God.
Anthony Richardson starts the season. Plays like a couple weeks.
Gets
looks
hurt.
terrible. They bench him.
Mm-hmm.
No, doesn't get hurt. He's healthy. They bench him.
Okay.
Shane Steichen's like, I'm going to play with the best guy. Daniel Jones comes in. Plays all right. Stage a car crash. Hit Daniel Jones. Anthony Richardson to come back in.
He's already got a neck issue. That's kind of cruel.
Well, he got a seatbelt. I don't know.
I forget.
He'll be fine.
We're faking it, Craig.
Hurts his
Hollywood
wrist.
magic for
All
you.
right.
And then Anthony Richardson comes back in, getting this chance he never thought. Boom, plays great.
Anyway, I think Anthony Richardson looks better.
He's going to get the job because
start.
holy shit, everyone's going to get fired if he sucks. So.
I also, and it's kind of more like I don't think Daniel Jones.
And I still do think Anthony Richardson should be your last pick in fantasy football for the simple reason that every week he plays the rushing. Like, I'm just. Again, you can cut him if you think it's dumb, then whatever. But like, I still
have you
think
ever
he's
had
worth it.
Anthony Richardson on your fantasy team?
Do you know what it's like?
Be honest, because it's kind of agonizing.
Do you know what it's like?
Yeah, but he's on your bench though. He shouldn't be your quarterback.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
He should be your backup quarterback.
Okay, let's say your starter's Jared Goff and your backup is Anthony Richardson, and you obviously start Goff week 1. Goff has 18 points. Anthony Richardson runs for 3 touchdowns, puts up 29 points. You're like, holy shit! You make the swap next week. You
Don't
start
make
Anthony
the swap.
Richardson. How that's
Leave
going to
him
be
on your bench? What's the point?
That's
Well,
your
then
whole
fucking
argument. Is that, like,
Tennessee.
the upside is so insane.
Tennessee.
Starting Anthony Richardson on your fantasy team is truly one of the worst feelings.
Can I flip it on you? If he has 3 rushing touchdowns week 1 and he's on waivers, aren't you going to feel stupid?
But then if you add him off waivers, do you start him?
How are you going to get him off waivers?
What do you mean?
11 other people in your league. Everyone's going to want him if he has 3 touchdowns.
Well, I don't want him. That's my point, is that whoever then has to start him next week, he's going to have 4 picks, 0 rushing touchdowns, and score 4 points.
in the
Okay,
first
I'm
quarter,
sorry
getting
for the
0.
guy that's even in the range of outcomes. Like, you're basically like, why would you want a guy who could score 3 touchdowns in one game on your team? That's stupid.
He's just Russian roulette. It's
So
like,
then
sure,
trade him.
3 or 4 times a year he'll put up 30 points, but the
Russian?
other 12 games he'll lose you your week.
Russian roulette? That's kind of good. With
trade him.
rushing.
A rushing roulette. Holy shit, that is Anthony Richardson's
Mind
rushing
bottling,
roulette.
like your mind is trapped in a bottle.
Did you say
just-
rushing roulette?
Dude, that's good. Justin Fields and Richardson are
roulette.
rushing roulette.
Oh, man.
That's actually pretty
Justin
good.
Fields has looked pretty
Did
rough.
you think I said
Ronak, write that
Russian
down.
Roulette, rushing roulette?
No, I didn't think that, but I thought
No,
it was
but that's
a pretty
good.
good
In your
pun.
head.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Isn't that how they came up with the name Spotify? Wasn't it that Daniel Eck misheard
Right. Something
his
like that.
friend, and he was like, "Did you say Spotify?" And he was like, "No." And he was like,
Like,
"All right,
what's Spotify?
Spotify
Kinda
sounds
We're
kind
in
of
there.
cool."
Ask him. Daniel.
He's here. Come on in.
Yeah.
Russian roulette.
Rushing.
in N with like a apostrophe.
No, they
Russian.
Yeah, yeah.
That's actually really good. Okay.
Craig, you're like, okay, too much.
No, I get it.
Yeah. Don't spike the football too much there. Okay. All right. Other Browns.
Wait. Russian.
Hold
You
on, let
get
me
it?
write it
no.
down for
Oh
you.
my God. Oh, actually, no. Do write it down. We're gonna forget.
I'm gonna write it down for you.
The Browns named Joe Flacco the starter, which I mean, yeah.
I'm actually excited about that.
I do want to just shout out. That's so weird.
Craig, look.
You're just no. You're just excited because he's your age. He's playing football.
Turn that around.
Russian. Where's the camera? They're not going to be able
This
to
is
see
so embarrassing.
DK just typed out the word
So
Russian in big font.
Did you think when you said Russian with an apostrophe, we didn't get it? Is that what
Craig
you typed?
didn't get it the first time.
No, I
But
got
then
it
you spelled
the
it.
second you
Why
said
did
it.
you? Whatever, man.
Okay, fine.
No, that is
Jeez.
good though.
No, it's great. It's great stuff.
Flacco, the starter, week 1.
Flacco, the starter for the Browns, makes 0 sense from a football strategy point of view because who cares? Why they're
No,
going
it
to
does,
try and win
because-
like 3
No,
games,
no, I
4
just
games.
throw Dylan Gabriel. No, it's you
And
owe it
wanna
to the
wait
team
and
to be
see-
competitive.
Wait until you feel like either Shador or Dylan Gabriel's ready.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
like
okay, fine.
Dylan Gabriel's a
You're not trying to win the Super Bowl right now. You're trying to
Right.
build something
That's
long
why.
term.
Why are we starting Joe?
No,
Flacco?
I think that's
No, 'cause
crazy.
You don't want to throw him to the Wolves and just ruin him.
I genuinely, I think this is a huge blind spot for you because you realize that what happened with the Seahawks, Russell Wilson, a 3rd-round pick starting for week 1, that's like
Super rare.
borderline unprecedented in the history of the NFL for that to work. I don't know if there's 2 other examples in 50 years of a 3rd-round pick starting week 1 in his career working out. Like you want him to like work at the NFL level. Dylan Gabriel looked good in the
These were
preseason
4th
game.
and 5th rounders.
Yeah, Dylan Gabriel worked well. He played well in the preseason game. I actually
starting him because he had
better
one
than
good preseason.
I know, it's fucking crazy. That's like classic what someone says about another team that's
I think
not
they
a
should
fan of their
start him.
team. That's like anyway.
Gabriel didn't
I
look
think
bad.
it's fucking pointless to start Joe Flacco, but I'm still for it.
You need to give time for Shador and Dylan Gabriel to like
Do you
prepare
think-
for NFL.
Who do you think
football.
gives them a better chance to win in week 1?
Remember we had this is a terrible comparison because like Herbert's actually good, but
Yeah.
remember when
got
they were
stabbed.
like Tyrod Taylor's going to be our starter, we're not putting Herbert in for like way too long.
He was the
even if it
sixth
was-
Do you think we
pick
should
in the
stage
draft,
an
5th.
accident for
Yeah,
Joe
but Heifetz,
Flacco?
nobody thought he was really that good at the time. Remember,
The Giants
it was
would have
kind of
taken him
panned.
number 1 the previous year. They were mad he went back to school. The Giants wanted to take him
Again, though,
first.
he was the 5th overall pick.
I know.
Shador
Look,
Sanders in the
potato,
5th
potato.
round. Dylan
Yeah.
Gabriel also the 5th
Dylan
round.
Gabriel's
4th round?
5'10".
On a
Okay.
good day.
3rd, yeah.
All right, fine.
Sorry, we just screamed at
No, I like
like
that idea.
capitulated. You should have stuck with it.
Gabriel looked kind of
Oh,
good.
he looked good though. Yeah, you're right. You should
Also-
probably play.
Little bit of aura. Dylan Gates.
He looks good.
D. Gabes.
Dylan Gabes.
The other thing I want to mention.
Lefty.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
southpaw
we
action.
would have 3 lefties in the NFL between Tua, Penix, and Dylan Gabriel.
What's the most we've ever had starting in a season?
Probably
I
one.
don't think there's ever been
more
3.
than one. Never.
Michael Vick, was anybody with him? Steve Young, who was with him?
I don't know if I really highly doubt we've
Was
ever
Kellen
had
Moore
3
lefty?
lefties overlapping.
Let me get Gemini on this.
because coaches don't want lefty backups.
Jamie, pull that up.
Coaches don't want dude. Steve Young.
Ronak got that.
Steve Young was
It's a Joe Rogan joke.
Steve Young at BYU.
when
the
did-
coach converted him to safety because he didn't want to flip his playbook.
Most
When did
lefty
Kellen Moore
QBs.
play? Because he's lefty. Did he even ever get on the
No,
field?
I don't think he's
Are we
ever
going to get caught up
started.
in this?
Yeah, hold on.
Okay.
Most lefty
Yeah, hold
starting
on.
QBs.
I mean, it actually would be simpler to just pull up a list of all lefties and just eyeball. the
Kellen
years.
Moore played in 2015.
but Kellen Moore didn't play.
Gemini.
He
Gemini
said
says
he played in 2015, 3 games.
Gemini says the most left-handed starting quarterbacks in a single season is 2, and it was Tua and Penix.
Yeah, dude. I don't think there's been. There probably have been under 15 lefty quarterbacks like ever. Period to throw football because coaches wouldn't teach you. It's like they wouldn't
Would
teach
have
a
been me
lefty
if coach
quarterback.
didn't hate me.
Yeah, there you go. Craig is lefty. The other thing with the Browns, so Quinshon Judkins, the running back at Ohio State, who was drafted by the Browns really high in the 2nd round. And so it turns out he's not going to be charged criminally for this alleged domestic violence incident that happened in July. And so that the criminal charges are dropped. The same day we find this out, the Cleveland signs Texas receiver Isaiah Bond, who was charged with charges related to an alleged sexual assault incident before the draft, and nobody drafted him. And it was just, to me, just a banner day for the Cleveland Browns, where I feel like they're like, I know we gave Deshaun Watson $250 million, but
Guaranteed.
they had a meeting and they're like, can we alienate the women more?
Yeah, let's
we're not
double
doing
down.
enough. Yeah,
Yeah.
triple down really, because they added 3 guys. Now they got the trifecta. But
Well, they haven't signed Judkins, and they didn't know about it when they drafted him.
no, I know. I just wanted to give them. But they signed Isaiah Bond.
I'm not defending them.
But they went out of their way to add Isaiah Bond, which I think is just so.
Facts.
Just actual housekeeping here on the Judkins thing. So law enforcement's dropping the investigation, but
The NFL still investigates.
so the standard for the like a criminal charge is beyond a reasonable doubt. The NFL is much closer to just like more likely than not, 51%. And so now the NFL investigation begins now that the criminal investigation has ended. So for football purposes, this is still weird because the Browns haven't signed him to a contract because he was the last holdout from the whole second round pick thing where none of the second rounders after Jane Higgins signed, so that he just didn't have a contract. This is all just a bunch of weird situations. So he's unsigned. So for him to contribute this season, Quinshon Judkins needs to sign a contract with the Browns. Then the NFL has to not put him on the commissioner's exempt list. And they have to decide, they have to end up not suspending him. And then even if he does all that, then you need him to overcome missing the entirety of literal training camp with the Browns and just trying to get on the description Mike Tomlin and a lot of people always use it. It's getting on a moving train for rookies.
Right.
And if you miss enough time early, it's like, we just gone.
We'll see you
like,
next year.
The odds of, I mean, I know the football, the most important part of all this, but like the odds of him contributing as a rookie feels, I mean, unlikely, frankly.
Right.
So you just have a backfield here with Jerome Ford and Dylan Sampson.
Right.
And
from a fantasy point of view, it's complicated because, like you said, he's probably not going to play for the first month as he like gets up to speed, and then
I mean,
he's going to be suspended probably for a while. I don't know. It's a tough one.
The other thing I'll say, not to be on a moral high horse, but I will say there's a juxtaposition for me personally because I'm just reiterating. Of all the players I've ever spoken to at the NFL Combine, my favorite person I've ever talked to is Dylan Sampson, the other running back they drafted this year. I was like more impressed with his just maturity, outlook on life. Like I just thought he was so even-keeled and impressive as a guy. And again, it's like a 10-minute conversation. You don't know anything about people. You don't actually get to know them that well. But it's funny that these are the two rookie options in this backfield now with the Judkins situation. I'm like, I really would love for Sampson to succeed. I feel like he was like a Kirkland brand Tony Pollard. But like him, him and Ford, like, again, this offense is probably going to suck, but whatever. The other thing that happened was Rashee Rice had a weird. This happened a while ago, but Craig was out. But Rashee Rice, basically, it feels like he's. So what's the deal exactly with this, Craig?
So they pushed his NFL disciplinary hearing until September 30th, which means a decision on a potential suspension can't happen until after September 30th.
Isn't it going to an arbitrator too?
Yes, I think so. But
Probably.
essentially, he's going to play the first month of the season. So if he does get suspended, there's a chance it's like week 6 to 12 because the NFL wanted to suspend him for 10 games.
Which is strange.
Which is a lot.
But this hearing being in the middle of the season is odd. They
Super
usually try
weird.
to do this the week of the week one.
So just keep that in mind that there's a chance that you could have Rashee Rice for the first 4 games of the season, then not for the middle 6 to 8, depending on where they land on the suspension, and then have him back for the fantasy playoffs.
This is where fantasy gets weird and fucked up, where you're like, I'm going to draft Rashee Rice because I'm going to try to arbitrage the uncertainty around his car crash that almost killed people.
There's a conspiracy out there, though, that the NFL is basically allowing Rashee Rice to play for the Chiefs for the first month when
because they have a harder schedule.
They have a harder schedule, and also they have a lot of primetime games. Week 1, they play the Chargers in Brazil. Week 2, they play the Eagles. Week 3, they play the Giants on Sunday Night Football, and then Week 4, they play Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, and then Week 5 it's the Jags, and they're like, all right, he can go now.
It's funny. I think I would have in past years totally dismissed that. And the older I get, I'm like, that sounds right.
I think it's dumb. I feel
It's
like
probably wrong, but I hear that. Like,
has Rice risen to that level where he's like some indispensable player that he like had a good year?
Chiefs being good is good for business.
Chiefs being good is good for business.
He is getting
Taylor
yes.
Swift.
Yeah.
There's an arbitrator. Okay, come on.
I really don't think I ever would have.
People
get
get so weird about the Chiefs.
People do get weird about it.
Here's the deal. They're taking this to an arbitrator, Sue L. Robinson, who has done this.
Are you familiar with her work?
She's done this
she
before.
does all
She's
the
done this
yeah.
before.
Oh, that's your like.
And apparently, I think the reading between the lines here is that NFL and the NFLPA could not agree on terms, which means, again, reading between the lines, the NFL wanted a big suspension.
Yeah.
And the NFLPA was like, no,
it's rumored that they wanted a 10 or 12 game suspension.
Which sounds like a lot, but I got to tell you, it is a crazy miracle that Rashee Rice didn't kill anyone in this race.
Yeah.
Like, if you watch the video, it's actually also cars. Wear your seatbelts. It's crazy what you can survive. Wear a fucking seatbelt. If you don't wear a seatbelt, you're crazy. But
I agree with that. I'm pro seatbelt. Hot take.
But it's insane that like he really could have killed someone. It's
But also, like, on the grand scale of things that people have been suspended for and how long they're suspended, him getting 10 to 12 games for this compared to what other people have received for what they did is out of whack.
Dude, I'm not going to sit here and defend the NFL's adjudication process. All right. We also have to get to a bunch of injuries that have happened last week, and we have to, frankly, kind of sit here and hash out what we want to do with certain players in our rankings. But first, football is almost here, which means it is time to start thinking about how the season will end. That is why FanDuel created a whole new holiday, Futures Day, happening on Tuesday, August 26th. It's 24 hours of deals on your season-long picks, a day when you decide who will win the division, take home the MVP, or take the whole thing. For one day only, all customers get an instant bonus on any football futures bet, plus flash deals every 3 hours that you won't want to miss. So mark your calendars because the greatest day in futures history is coming August 26th. What are you doing for Futures Day? Visit the FanDuel app to learn more and get your picks ready. FanDuel, play your game. Must be 21 plus and present in select states or 18 plus and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. This episode is brought to you by Yahoo Fantasy. Yahoo Fantasy is the best place to play fantasy football this season. Yahoo Fantasy is dropping 28 big new features over 28 days throughout August. They just dropped Yahoo Fantasy Guillotine Leagues, a killer new way to play on Yahoo where the lowest scoring team gets eliminated weekly until one is left standing. Give this new mode a try or stick with classics and private head-to-head leagues or public leagues. Play today at yahoofantasy.com/theringer.
Okay. All right. Let's get to some injuries here. I want to focus in on Matt Stafford, who we talked a little bit about a couple weeks ago, and I was a little nervous. You guys shook it off a little bit about Matthew Stafford's back injury, where he was receiving epidurals, which is what they give women who are giving birth. A little bit of a red flag. He practiced for the first time today, much like Jelly. We were kind of like, where is Stafford?
Matt Stafford is jelly. You're like, we haven't, no one proof of life. I don't know if Matt Stafford's alive. Like it's been 6 months since anyone's laid eyes on him.
So Stafford spent time in a restorative and rejuvenation chamber parked next to the Rams practice field. Have you seen it? Have you seen the photo?
He's like the
giant airstream.
He's like the accountant. He's just living in this airstream now.
Like the auditors here.
I never
for the
know
week.
what he's doing in there.
What is he doing in there? How do you guys feel about Matthew Stafford right now? And,
he practiced today.
And the trickle-down effect of Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, Kyron Williams, everything going on.
Got to tell you, not interested in Puka and Devontae right now.
Yeah.
I've
felt this way since the beginning. Drafting Puka Nacua is like hitting a two-leg parlay.
Right.
If he has a good season, it's because somehow Matthew Stafford's back held up for 17 games, and Puka Nacua didn't like get hit by a car like Happy Gilmore did on the golf course.
I re-listened to our last.
That will happen to Puka Nacua in like week 6.
Dude,
Screw that! I gotta play. What would I know? I'm just a doctor.
I'm just a doctor.
One of British.
One of the things we resolved at the end of last season was just like Puka Nacua has no sense of self-preservation. He's never ever once preserved his health going down.
I'm gonna say
every time he catches the pass, I'm like, Puka, look out! Puka, look out!
She like goes like this too, like when she says it.
Oh my god!
And then they killed her in the sequel.
Oh Unbelievable.
They should have heard
Craig, when I saw that part of the movie, I was just like, okay, I think I'm
SpongeBob,
out.
like I'm ahead out.
The Stafford thing is one of those where when I'm not thinking about it, my attitude is Matt Stafford is always hurt. He is honestly one of the single toughest players in sports. Period. Yeah. He plays through he won't tell anyone he's hurt. He won't even be. Genuinely think he's not even honest with the teams he plays for about how hurt he is. He's a tough motherfucker. He's gonna play. Then like every time Sean McVay opens his mouth, I feel worse. And I mean literally every single thing Sean McVay has said about this since July 24th has made me when he's
going to be running or maybe walking.
Like some of the things he said is like
he looked good walking around today. I saw him walking to breakfast.
Like
should have seen him get out of bed.
Someone asked if it was related to an injury he had a couple years ago, and Sean McVay said this injury is not related to what Stafford went through a couple years ago after the Saints game. It's totally different.
Great.
And I'm like, great, awesome.
Sean McVay's like he had to get one of those chairs that sort of just like slowly ejects you.
Dude,
like,
you know the things that take you up the stairs.
My grandparents had one of those. Just like very, very slowly sideways up the stairs.
Dude, Sean McVay, they asked him, is the back injury a functional thing or a pain tolerance thing? And he's like, yeah, it's probably both. You know, the aggravated disc.
good.
He's like, we're trying to get our hands around this. You know, and he's like, I don't really have much more information other than we're trying to get some different things that are hopefully going to be in alignment with getting him back out on the field.
Just word salad.
Dude, I'm like,
Oh my God.
McVay gave an update that was like wrong with the timeline. I don't know if it pissed off Stafford or the training staff or McVay had bad information. He said something trying to be honest about it the first week of camp. Got it wrong, and then literally was like, I should have phrased it very differently. And everything he said since then has been so bad. And I am thinking, it like on one hand, the upside to me is obvious, where this if Stafford's healthy, Puka, Devontae Adams, McVay, like McVay's like our Bill Walsh. Devontae Adams is not washed. This offense, the ceiling is crazy. They could like make the Super Bowl. It is worth remembering that while Stetson Bennett played well in the preseason, Jimmy Garoppolo is the backup here. Number 2. Number 3 is they did try to like not guarantee Matt Stafford's contract beyond this year, leading to potential trade.
Wasn't that the whole thing? Like, well, they almost traded
didn't-
him because they didn't want to give him long-term
They
deals?
didn't trust he could play. Yeah. And then Stafford called their bluff, and they're like, well, he's too good to get rid of. Number 4, let's say Stafford misses a game, Jimmy Garoppolo's there. Devontae Adams requested a trade from the Raiders because of Jimmy Garoppolo. He literally is on
gonna lose my life.
He's on the Netflix Receivers episode of like that
I gotta
show.
get outta here.
Devontae's like, I'm gonna lose my life,
I love
bro.
how the wording of that is so good.
I'm gonna lose my life playing for Jimmy Garoppolo. So the
you think it's
vibe
weird
shift
At
is
practice? He's
yes.
like, hey, Jimmy.
How could it not be weird? The vibe shift of like,
Did he really say that? I'm gonna
Yes,
lose my
it was
life.
about
I don't know.
Jimmy.
Was it that exact phrase?
dude. Miran Fader wrote a story for The Ringer, the ringer.com, about how he wanted to get off. He didn't want to play with Jimmy. Like, he didn't feel safe. Do you know how hard it has to be for an NFL player to be like, I don't feel safe on the field? You know how dangerous that has
He
to
goes, this is the quote, I got to get the fuck out of here before I lose my fucking life.
be? Yeah! So I was underplaying it. I'm just
Before
saying.
I lose
So
my
it is
fucking
worth
life.
noting that is literally the backup, which, again, you can't tell me that he's just over that. Like, he's 33. Like, his,
No,
like,
yeah, absolutely
he's
not.
trying to win a Super Devontae Adams has never won a Super Bowl. He is also trying to get another, like he wants another payday. He just got it. But like Devontae wants to be an all-time great. You cannot tell me this is just going to be like, okay, if Jimmy G just, so I'm just saying.
Stetson Bennett's been balling out in the preseason.
I know.
Settle
Maybe
down,
I'll
settle down.
Yeah,
Okay,
please.
Jackson Dart guy.
But the point being, get
No,
the
no.
fuck, how dare you, sir?
Stetson Bennett won a national title.
Wait, he was old enough, he wasn't
Okay.
eligible for, he couldn't get on
It doesn't mean
Cobra.
anything.
Why did how am I suddenly a
26.
Stetson Bennett defender here?
Yeah. Stetson,
I backed myself into this corner. I
Will Howard won a national championship. You in on him?
sure.
he's a nice guy. I will, so all that's
Shook
to
his
say,
hand. Nice firm handshake.
Yeah. Look me in the eye.
yeah, he's nice.
Said, nice to meet you, son.
Yeah.
Good, nice young gentleman.
I love that we're just saps for anyone we've ever met. I
Which
will,
is like 4 people.
the,
Remember we walked by Kirk Cousins once? We were like, Kirk, not that bad
Not that big.
that was you guys. I didn't see him.
in Arizona.
He wasn't really.
We were on
that
the
big.
plane with Sam Darnold. Not that big.
Oh,
I mean, yeah, he's kind
On
of
the
like
way home from
normal
New
size.
Orleans?
Boarding
Yeah.
the plane. He had good etiquette boarding the plane. He was in coach. He was
I was
fine.
on the plane with Rome and Caleb.
Right.
Yeah, going to the, yeah.
That's right.
What the hell happened there?
What do you mean?
I mean, not a great rookie year.
It's funny to be on a plane with Roma Dunze because Roma Dunze then at the combine was like, I couldn't fly a plane. Everyone on board would die. So,
That
which
was-
is probably pretty.
Yeah, that's like, is that like the most obvious take of all time?
But if Malik Neighbor, a receiver can't have like normal confidence. A receiver needs like outlandish, preposterous
yeah,
confidence.
I could fly a plane.
Like, Malik Neighbors, I guarantee, is like, yeah, I'd land the plane. He's wrong, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Like, the
right.
point is he
you want him
believes
to
it.
believe he can
Yeah.
in the plane.
Anyway, so I actually do agree that I think that if you're playing this in an Excel spreadsheet, Puka Nacua to me could win the Triple Crown this year because this offense could be crazy. Devontae and him could both have a year where it's like they're both like 2019 Bucks, like Godwin and Evans, both top 5. However, in reality, I'm like betting on a 38-year-old quarterback's back that the head coach literally is like, I don't know. And also,
He's in an Airstream.
I feel pretty
What are we
confident.
doing in there?
Matt Stafford's not being honest with them either. Matt
He's going to be
Stafford,
like Larry Bird, like laying flat on the
Yes.
ground when the defense is on the field.
and so to your point, I do think we should probably move him down for Stafford and unfortunately Devontae, which I really wanted to be in on Devontae this year, but it does feel like at some point in the top of the draft, you do want to avoid landmines.
Mhm.
And the Rams do feel a little landminey considering Devontae Adams went on a reality show and said, I hate Jimmy Garoppolo. He's gonna
It
kill
could
me."
blow up.
It could blow up.
It could blow up.
But it could be great. So possibly highest ceiling floor variance in the league.
Do you think Puka should
Stafford's out.
still be in the tier with Justin Jefferson, Nico Collins, Amon Ra, Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas?
Yes, but he's just at the bottom of it because like the ceiling is just as high as all those guys. Okay, the other quarterback that got hurt I want to mention is Jordan Love, which this matters and doesn't. So he had surgery or procedure or whatever on a thumb ligament in his hand.
Non-throwing
but it's his
hand.
left hand. Yeah, it's his non-throwing hand. So it kind of doesn't matter. However,
Yeah,
what
like a
matters
griffin ball, I guess.
is, it's not really a big deal. I think the larger deal is every receiver on the Packers except the rookie Matthew Golden is injured. Like literally, if you go down the list, Jaden Reed has a foot sprain and was in a boot.
He just had to have surgery too, I think.
Yeah, and it's separate from his toe issue, which is separate from the ankle injury he had last year. Christian Watson's returning from an ACL. I'm like, maybe he's back around Christmas.
Right.
Maybe. Dontavian Wicks has a calf issue. Romeo Doubs has a back issue. Savion Williams, the third-round guy, the Cordarrelle Patterson, TCU, like, gadget-type receiver they drafted, has a shoulder issue, then got concussed, and then hurt his shoulder more. So, like, it's weird because on one hand, all these guys are expected back for week 1, except obviously Christian Watson and Savion Williams. But the flip side is they're all hurt. So I don't know where I love Jaden Reed, but I feel like I'm like, why, given the chance, would you draft a receiver who's going to have a foot issue all year? I'm like, I just don't want that. And I know I'm just a broken record, but I just think Matthew Golden, the rookie, is just an absolute smash player this year.
It's looking really good for him right now.
He needs to be significantly moved up. Right now, we have him below Jaden Reed. Jaden Reed is like basically going in the 9th round. Matthew Golden is going in the 10th round. I think now, straight up, Matthew Golden should be the highest ranked receiver on the Packers.
Easily.
I think Golden's right there with like Ricky Parasol as these guys that could like going in, the 6th or like the 7th round that next year might be going in the 3rd or 4th round. Like these are guys that might be your like a really great number 2 receiver for you next season. And I just, I'm really in on them.
I agree.
Other team I don't know what to do with. Khalil Shakir and the Bills.
He has a high ankle sprain.
Mm-hmm.
So Josh Allen's our number 1 quarterback. He's everyone's number 1 quarterback. So, and now his number 1 guy is a high ankle sprain. So we don't not really have any of Josh Allen's pass catchers in the top 100.
Josh Palmer. Keon Coleman.
I actually think we have to move Palmer up.
I mean, yeah, we have to move him up for sure. We have to move Coleman up probably a little bit. I guess we should.
so.
Everybody should be moved up a little bit. The problem is we don't know who it's going to be. If it's going to be anybody,
It's going to be someone different every game.
Well, last year it was nobody, and Josh Allen was the best quarterback in fantasy. So
I like Khalil Shakir, but high ankle sprain, sometimes they're weird about reporting it, but if it's really a high ankle sprain, again, when it's bad, and there's different severities, but if it's bad, like Michael Thomas's career ended because he mishandled the high ankle sprain. Like Odell Beckham's career was never the same as a high ankle sprain. Like it's a worse injury than it sounds. I just don't want a guy with a high ankle sprain.
no, and currently there is no Bills player outside of no Bills pass catcher outside of. I'm sorry, there is no Bills pass catcher we have going in the top 10 rounds.
But here's the thing. I think that's all right because the Bills literally redesigned their run game and their whole offense to just be about we're going to throw it to who's open, but there is no alpha. Like when they got rid of Diggs, the whole thing was going to be this offense is about Josh and him distributing it. And
It's just matchups week to week and down.
yeah,
to down.
and it's not predictable. Like it's not predictable. It's like what we say about the Packers, where ironically I think Matthew Golden is going to be predictable now, but the Bills are going to be an enigma and they don't have a vision for like this guy's going to get fed. It's not like the Vikings are going to throw to Justin Jefferson every week. And I think it's okay to just not have any receivers in the Bills, and that's okay.
Yeah, if you're going to make a bet, I would still bet on Keon Coleman, who like had moments last year. Again, when Keon Coleman played last year, he was the most targeted receiver when on the field with the Bills.
He'll get a lot of end zone targets as well, I think.
Yeah, wouldn't it be hilarious if Josh Palmer just went off?
I actually
That's
think we
best
need to
case
move him up.
scenario.
We need to move him up
Yeah.
because he's a professional player. Like there are certain times like the floor, because Matt Collins left Buffalo for New England, and there are times when teams really need it, especially contending teams. Like this is actually always my advice for like college kids going to the pros. Not like football. I said that pro is really weird. I meant college kids going to like the workforce.
Okay.
And they're like looking for a job. And I'm like, the most underrated thing is competency. Like they don't actually need you to be great if you're 22. Like you just need to be competent. Kind of the same with rookies, honestly, where they're like one of the issues with Luther Burden for the Bears is like, do you know where to line up? Do you know when to motion?
He looked
like,
good.
yeah. But I do think
I'm
that
so
like,
in.
Josh Palmer knows what to do. Like he's competent, and at some point he will play. Like for the best offense in the NFL.
I just know he's going to be making crucial third down plays in the playoffs. You know what I mean?
Who, Luther Burden?
No, Josh Palmer. Well, hopefully Luther Burden.
Did you hear what Greg Olson said about him?
No.
He might have let this slip. He might not have. He wasn't maybe supposed to say this or whatever, but he was talking to, I think, the GM, Ryan Poles. And he said on the broadcast that Poles thinks Burden could be better than Rome or DJ Moore.
100%.
Yeah.
He's
He has like a
Ryan
higher
Poles traded the 32nd pick in the draft for fucking Chase Claypool.
ceiling. Fair point. Fair
He just
point.
likes athletic people who are 5-star recruits. I can just filter by that in college football 25. I don't.
Well, all he needs is a 50% success rate then out of Claypool and Luther Burden for one of those to hit, and the odds are with him now.
Sure.
Just saying. All right, Craig, tell us other injured players.
Well, I think we just got to talk about the Niners a little bit and what we want to do with that. I mean, Brandon Ayuk is going to start the season on PUP, going to miss at least 4 weeks, could be more. We have Juwan Jennings, who is still dealing with a calf injury. We don't exactly know.
We don't know if it's a calf or just a I want more money,
like
please.
holding.
Yeah. So we don't really know what's going on with that. And then we have Ricky Pearsall, who has been healthy for the last few weeks, who I think should be the top player drafted outside of George Kittle on the Niners.
Yes, I agree.
And I think he's honestly one of like the biggest steals, best values right now in drafts is Pearsall. I mean, right now we have him as an 8th rounder. I think that's like as low as he should go. You could talk me into 6th, 7th, 8th round.
Yeah.
I do stick with what I said last time we were together, which was I do think for receivers and running backs, white skill players, no one wants to believe it till they see it. And I do actually think Ricky Pearsall was, for a variety of reasons, underrated in college because he was a transfer. He was an older prospect, and there's like huge biases against, I mean, obviously white receivers, but also just being an old prospect is kind of an ick. Like it's just, you're immediately an outlier, but it's also the beginning of the transfer portal era. I think that's going to change. And so I think that we will look back and be like, it's okay if you like get great later, but Pearsall just has all these really, he's a really talented thing at all the things that are hard to quantify at the receiver position with like ball tracking and placement, route running nuance. And you know who was a receiver in college? Kyle Shanahan. Like Kyle Shanahan likes him. And the other thing is CJ Stroud did a live stream with Mike Renner for Bleacher Report during that draft. And the only, like, you know, Stroud actually was like weirdly honest. It was in his podcast era. And when Ricky Pearsall was drafted to the Niners, Stroud was like, damn, I wanted him. He was like mad. He was like, dude, this guy's going to be so good. And he just like did a great breakdown. And like, I don't know, when Kyle Shanahan, CJ Stroud, and like so many people I really trust and respect were like, he's great. And then he like gets shot and like his rookie season just a wash. This is a great player on an elite offense for Kyle Shanahan, who's been turning random people into stars for like, at this point, we're coming up on 15 years. Ricky Pearsall is on that list for me of my A-list guys of like Matthew Golden, Tyler Warren, the tight end for the Colts, and Ricky Pearsall of just crazy talent who for really weird circumstances is underrated, but like everything about the situation lines up. And he's like, he just should be more expensive than this.
I agree. And it's even though he got shot last year and kind of had a slow start, he kind of finished the season pretty strong. There are like
he's like their number one guy for a
He led the 49ers in yards per route run versus man last year, just straight up.
He had I think he had 3 of the first 4 catches for the 49ers, or maybe the first 3 catches for the 49ers in their preseason game. I'm just looking at this box score. Robbie Chosen, 5 catches for 92 yards.
They don't have choice either.
Robbie Chosen?
I really do think it's as simple as it's overlapping biases. And I'm half joking about the white thing, but I'm not, because he's an older receiver, which we didn't like. We didn't like that he transferred. We didn't like that but the Florida situation was weird, and like everything about it was weird. And again, most rookie years, we just don't know what to do with it.
Purdy really seems to trust him too, which is huge.
Yeah, it's like, man, it's just going to be Juwan Jennings and Ricky Pearsall and George Kittle. But this Niners team has a really easy schedule. Again, the season last year was a disaster, but they were not that. They were second in yards per play last year.
And also the other thing, and again, Brandon Ayuk, maybe he's back week 4, week 6, but when he's back, he's not going to be Brandon Ayuk. Like there is a gap when you can return where, you know, you can walk around, you can jog on a treadmill, but if you want to perform at the 100th percentile athleticism that's required to win on not just run a route on an NFL field, but win and beat a cornerback, which are like the best athletes in America, your brain throttles you down. Like it doesn't let you get there for a period of time. So Ayuk is I just think he's going to be the 3rd best receiver on this team for this season. And so, yeah. Similar person is Chris Godwin for the Bucs, who dislocated his ankle, and it's actually super similar to me Tampa Bay, where it's like Mike Evans is Mike Evans, and I just think Emeka Buka. You guys on Rewatchables always joke about like market corrected. To me, Emeka Buka is totally market correcting Chris Godwin this year.
They're going right around in our rankings. They're basically back to back in the 10th round. I don't know if there's a situation where I'm taking Godwin over Ibuka.
No.
Not
now. Certainly not now.
We need
He's
Ibuka.
Incredible in the preseason too.
Yeah.
Ibuka to me should be in that same range.
Everything out of camp is just that he has immediately stepped in and been a professional and looks great. And
that's the trio of guys that I feel like I'll be doing great. Of like Matt, like in the 70th overall to 80th overall, which you can divide that by 10 or 12 depending on how big your league is and what round that is. But basically, Matthew Golden, Emeka Buka for the Bucs, and Ricky Pearsall. Those are guys where I'm like, if I get one of those guys in my bench spot, or like if you want to go like 2 running backs, elite quarterback, elite tight end, and then like that's your second, like you are cooking. I think if you are able to add multiple of those 3 guys, because that's the range of guys I want, like breakouts that for whatever reason are kind of flying under the radar. DK, what? Anything else on the Bucks or Ibuka? Ibuka's just like this start. He's like Hansley's so hot right now.
Yeah, I think it's feeling like a lost season for Godwin. He might still play, in the second half or whatever, but yeah.
Feels like the rookies are hotter than they've ever been this year. It feels like the value that used to like the whole like the secret trick to win your fantasy league is like draft the rookie wide receiver, sit him on. Everyone is saying that. Everybody knows it. These guys are getting inflated with their ranking.
Right.
It like no longer feels like Matthew Golden or Ibuka are values. It's like, yeah, we are projecting a lot for them, and you have to pay for it.
It depends on your platform. The biggest advice, I have a column going up at the Ringer today about like just how to win your league. And I do think the simplest thing you can do is just have other rankings up. We have our rankings at fantasyfootball.theringer.com. But again, everyone's looking at the same rankings. And so the easiest thing you can do is just not, because like if
you're just anchored to those.
If you're looking at Bucky
Right.
Irving and it says expert rank 44.
There's just like a little section.
Going to think about 44.
Yeah.
And so just having, ESPN has them high, and that's not what they have him ranked. But the point being, a good example of this is Matthew Golden. On ESPN, he's ranked 78th. And on Yahoo, he's 102nd. That's Matthew Golden for the Packers. And so it's like, that's a huge difference. But ESPN is Ricky Pearsall like 3 rounds after Yahoo. So just being aware of that, if you have a target, where is he on your platform? Is he gettable? So like that's the difference between reaching. So if you reach your Matthew Golden on Yahoo a round earlier, that's like a round later than he goes in ESPN. So like it's actually a value. So that's just something to be aware of as you go with all these names. I know it's hard sometimes to talk about names. Where do you take them? Just literally look up where the difference is in average draft position. A couple other injury stuff that happened. DK, I have no idea what's going on with Devon Achane in Miami.
Nobody
or Tyreek
does.
Hill. What's going on?
So Devon Achane, soft tissue, lower body injury. So I think it's very purposely vague. We don't really know exactly what's going on. And then Mike McDaniel said it's days and weeks. It's between days and weeks when he's going to come back. So that's obviously like, God. He says he's confident it's going to be
days to weeks.
Yeah, days to
McDaniel's
weeks.
a troll. He's getting pretty hard to.
Yeah.
The McDaniel shtick when you're winning is cool. Wow, what a different independent thinker.
100%.
Independent thinking when you're losing is
The tuxedos are kind of fucked
speaks
up.
in riddles to us. But he said he's confident that he'll be back for week 1, but I don't know if I trust that necessarily. I think it's kind of a mess right now. And then, so to complicate that even further, and I haven't even gotten to Tyreek Hill yet, but to complicate that further, right now, Jalen Wright is ostensibly the backup, I think, in Miami.
And he's the Raheem Mostert clone out of Tennessee that they
Right.
drafted last year, right?
Yeah, and however, he has not looked good whatsoever in the preseason games. And Ollie Gordon, another a rookie this year, has looked great. I thought he's like shown a lot of explosiveness, toughness, and like running between the tackles, like breaking a lot of tackles. So I don't know. What do we do about this? I think you still take Achane. He probably moved down. He's moved down now. I'd say a little bit.
Down.
But
that's another
now,
parlay where it's like if he's hurt, so you're already parlaying any Dolphins
right?
with
Tua
being
Achane,
healthy,
yeah,
and then Achane's hurt, and you're like, oh, so he's a small guy.
He's just a super high variance,
Yeah.
probably fantasy option. And then so like I guess who is the handcuff to him? I don't know if it's clear right now. Jalen Wright, I don't think he's looked very good at all in the preseason, and Ollie Gordon is a rookie, so maybe they don't trust him right away. But I think it's a complicated situation. Hopefully, Achane can kind of come back before week 1, and so we kind of know what's going on.
Here's the real question about Miami: is Devon Achane? We kind of know the volatility that he brings with Tua, the whole thing, the upside. Tyreek Hill has this oblique injury. We don't know a lot about that.
Mm-hmm.
He's had a bizarre offseason. He's kind of lower now than he's ever been. He's like a 3rd rounder now, but he's banged up. Devon Achane's banged up. Tua's healthy. Jalen Waddle is just sitting there.
Oh yeah,
Jalen Waddle is sitting there. He's going in the 5th, 6th round. He's 52nd overall in our rankings.
forgot about Jalen.
Yeah, we
Waddle.
forgot about Jalen Waddle. What should we do? Is it time to buy back in?
I mean, I was never out. I always loved Jalen Waddle.
We have ignored him for this long because we hate him. However, it is kind of it's screaming at me that this is an obvious good selection at 52nd overall next to DK Metcalf or Rashee Rice or Tony Pollard or David Montgomery. That Jalen Waddle, if Tyreek Hill misses any time, is Jalen Waddle
going to have like a
1,600 yards this
He's
year?
going to have a 35% target rate. There's no Jonnu Smith. Especially if Achane's out.
So it
That's
would
what
be
I'm saying.
Jalen Waddle and it'll be like Malik Washington and the
Yeah.
receivers. I honestly, fuck it. You're probably right. Yeah, Jalen
It sucks.
Waddle's a good
It
value.
sucks.
Fuck.
But it might be right.
You're probably
man.
right. I hate to say it, but you're right. Again, like 80% of the Miami concentrates more of their passing game to their top 3 guys, Hill, Waddle, and HN than like any like.
And the other 2 are injured. I
all
mean,
right,
so right now, okay, let me ask you this.
This is like the part in the movie where you're looking, like everyone listening right now is like, no, don't do it. Why are you like?
Yeah, we should go in the
White in
house.
the
Split it. Yeah.
I think I heard a noise in the shed. I'm going to go check it out.
Go by yourself, though.
Like right now, we have Jalen Waddle 10 picks behind Terry McLaurin, Marvin Harrison Jr., Devontae Adams. Is that right?
You're right. We should move him up. But
Is that right?
This is also that this
I
is
don't
the
know.
end. He's like, we're not splitting up. This ain't Scooby Doo.
I don't
We'll
know.
move up Jalen Waddle. Yeah, fuck it. We'll move Jalen Waddle. Fine. You're right. I think that that receiver break. We haven't talked about this much, but to me, there's a weird receiver tier break where there's a top. I forget the exact number. Call it 13 guys. Like, Tyreek Hill really is to me the 13th guy. It's weird. Then there's like a subgroup of like Mike Evans, Terry McLaurin. Like guys that are good. Marvin Harrison Jr. Guys that are you going to bet against Mike Evans again? Probably not. You trust him. Marvin Harrison Jr., Garrett Wilson. And then there's like this flattening of like DK Metcalf as like the 18th receiver or whatever, all the way to Calvin Ridley at like 31st or whatever. And like you could just
take anyone.
The order of those, I would be so unsurprised if any of those guys finished in any order whatsoever. And you could kind of convince me that, you know what I mean? And so I don't care. Like to me, it's like a 15 receiver tier.
Would you rather have like, maybe you mentioned this already, sorry, Terry McLaurin or Waddle right now?
All right, this is so funny because McLaurin's such a lovable, wonderful story. But I will say
he was like highly dependent on
he is the
touchdowns.
negative regression poster child.
Right.
And which is priced in, which is a weird thing because it's like priced in. But I think the reason McLaurin is ranked where he's ranked is basically that even in the season where everything went perfectly, and again, he tied the Washington record for the most touchdowns
last year. I don't think he was.
Well, because he had 13 touchdowns, but he only had like 1,008 yards. Like he didn't only have like 1,000 something yards. And so then you add Deebo Samuel, and you're like, okay, what if Jaden Daniels? What if they don't go 87% on 4th down again? Like, what if he doesn't hit Terry McLaurin for like 7 different teardrop beautiful touchdown passes? Because if he has merely 8 touchdowns, that's still a good season for Terry. But like, he's probably not hitting 12. Like, what does it have to happen from 1,300 yards now that Deebo's there? Like, it's probably just harder. But having said that, Terry McLaurin and Washington's such a more fun offense. No offense to the Dolphins.
Terry McLaurin was the wide receiver 15 in points per game.
It's like,
That's why he's ranked where he's ranked.
You know who the other one is? I think when we're talking about this and trying to figure out like sort of the hierarchy, I keep thinking Garrett Wilson. I don't think anyone has fallen more in terms of just the excitement level.
I'm so out.
Yeah, I love Garrett Wilson, and even I'm like, no, I don't think so.
It's not Garrett Wilson's fault.
No.
If Justin
passing
Jefferson was
offense-
on the Jets instead of Garrett Wilson, I would also be dubious about him. And if Garrett Wilson was on the Vikings the last 3 years, he might have had Justin Jefferson-like seasons.
So another...
He's had like a 30% target rate over his career almost. It's like always high 20s.
Did you see the Justin Fields passes to him this week?
Tough.
It's tough out there.
I wanted it to be the first year that he actually had a 28% target rate and caught 70s whatever percent of his catches.
So
but now it's not happening.
Couple other injuries I want to get to. The Joe Mixon thing, which we've been on, but basically Joe Mixon's foot, we don't know exactly the deal, but for the most part, I don't even know if Joe Mixon's going to play this year. If he does,
Right.
Whatever's going on with his foot ankle situation is just seems not great. We don't know exactly what's going on, but I don't know when he will be available to play. So we just don't know who's going to be the running back for the Texans. I just think it's going to be Nick Chubb. I don't know how to rank these
Or
people.
Dameon Pierce.
Dameon
maybe.
Pierce, who had a hamstring injury, he was also physically unable to perform, but he came off, so he's kind of behind. So you got Chubb and Pierce. You got Dario Ogunbowale doing passing downs because, again, Nick Chubb, even when he was great in Cleveland, wasn't really doing pass-catching stuff. So Ogunbowale's there. So Woody Marks, who actually I was concerned that he couldn't make a dent in this rotation. Then in the preseason game, I thought he looked good. I thought he had juice. But I'm kind of weirded out that he's playing behind like kind of randos for Houston. I don't know.
You have to take a flyer on one of these guys in the last round of your draft or something.
I do think Nick Chubb is a good example of someone that sometimes it's as simple as draft Nick Chubb in like the 11th round and let him be the starter for 3 weeks and then trade him to someone who needs a running back, because the odds Nick Chubb makes it through a whole season are low. But the odds that Nick Chubb and like J.K. Dobbins to the Broncos, who we've barely talked about, are like just good until they get hurt, I think is really high. Like Nick Chubb is going to be fine. He's going to be the starting running back for Houston, and you can get him 70 spots after you would have taken Joe Mixon.
Yeah, we have him ranked currently with like the high-end backups, the Jordan Mason types, but we should probably shift him up towards the low-end starters.
It's one of those guys where it's hard to just decide. You almost need a philosophy on where to take a player like that. It was like Nick Chubb's probably going to start for the Texans, and you got to roll dice. I'm like, all right, well, how long will that last? How long do you want a competent veteran starting running back on a decent team for that's not going to be incredible, but like you can just fill your second running back spot late, but he's not going to like change your world or anything. He's probably going to get hurt.
It is very similar to the J.K. Dobbins situation because I feel like there's been a bunch of camp reports and quotes, I think, that fantasy people have glommed onto, and it's like Chubb just looks bad. He just does not look explosive.
But it was like a couple weeks ago.
Right. And
I saw him. I'm like, he looked fine.
And I didn't like Dobbins didn't look especially explosive to me last year, and he still went over 1,000 yards.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like
and
it's
the
sometimes you just have to not worry too much about the camp reports. You know,
if he
just
looks
like
good,
he's a trustworthy guy, and they're probably going to give that the majority of the carries to him, to the guy they trust the most.
The same way that I think your willingness to draft Brandon Ayuk very late is frankly different based on like our rankings would shift dramatically. I think if we could account for whether you have an IR spot or not. If you're in sleeper and you have like 2 IR spots, you can put Ayuk in from week 1. That is different to me than if you have 0. Like he's not worth the bench spot at all. Don't take him. But if no one's taking him, I'm like, yeah, stick him in your IR because maybe
pro
November.
IR spot?
Yes. I'm basically like anything that's in real life and you can't do in fantasy football is like defeats the purpose. Like if you're like, well, you can't play Travis Hunter in an ID like a league that does defense because that's unfair. I'm like, well, if you can do it in real fucking life, why can't you do it in fantasy? So if they have IR in real life, why can't you create an extra roster spot?
Are you anti
football team?
No.
I think it gets weird. Like the league we're in, your dynasty league.
I was just getting ready to hear that.
But in your dynasty league that you with your friends that I've won twice in 3 years, so I'm gonna be a dick about it because you forgot who won, and I never brag. I don't brag about winning because it's our fucking job.
Except right
but
now.
then you asked me. Well, no, you asked me who won to my face. I was like, me, I won. You're like, did you really? And I realized if you don't talk shit as the winner, no one remembers. No one remembers who won your league because the moment you're out, you stop paying attention and you delete it from your memory.
The only person who knows is the person who's in the finals against you. Everybody else is known.
And I realized that unless you're an asshole
you want to
about
forget
it,
about the season, block it out of your mind, move on, just get
no
the next
one
year.
remembers who won,
Right.
and I realized I'm not talking shit. No one knows. So yeah,
I mean, yes.
I was
think
mad
you're
you
right.
didn't remember.
You have to talk more shit.
You're the commissioner, and you asked me. I was so mad at you.
You've won 2 out of 3.
Yes, you didn't even know that.
Really?
I hate you.
I don't know about
The
that.
dirty little secret of this podcast is that Heifetz is actually really good at fantasy.
The dirty little secret.
Heifetz is annoyingly good at this.
A lot of fantasy is honestly effort, and it's like
Heifetz
just trying and like talking to people, negotiating, making trades, like living on the waiver wire. And Heifetz is a maniac.
He'll fucking sweet talk you into some trade.
You did great with the trade. I gave you you gave me Egram and Conklin, and I won the league. And then but you got the 3rd round pick, and you fucking drafted Puka Nacua with the pick. So I don't want to hear anything from you.
Turned out all right.
No one gives a shit about any of this. I will say though, but the Chubb thing, that's a good segue with the trading. I actually think Chubb is worth more in a league where you actually think you can trade with your league mates because there are leagues where no one does trades and there are leagues where it's very possible. Nick Chubb, 3 weeks in the season, if he's good, someone's gonna be like, "Oh, Nick Chubb," because like it is the easiest thing in the world to trade a running back 3 weeks in the fantasy season. Like everyone 3 weeks in the season is like trying to trade. I have too many receivers. I want a running back. Like 8 of the 12 teams are trying to do that. So if you have Nick Chubb, you can flip him. But if it's an office league and you're like, I'm not going to make any trades, then to me it's worth a little less actually. Anyway,
there's a few more mini injury things. It's like Najee Harris is back at practice, but he's not practicing. Daniel Popper reported that he might go on the NFI list and might not play the first 4 weeks of the season.
I think Najee's career is like over.
That's pretty grim.
And I know
it's a bummer.
Well,
yeah.
I guess I'm not going to say I think it's over. I think it's like certain. I think it is. We're at the point where it might be more possible that Najee's career is over than he's going to like significantly contribute soon. I'm not trying to just say that, but it is really. This is like now third-hand information, but Evan Silva established the run. Called his like his friend who's an eye doctor, and now I'm just relaying information from a different show.
I know a guy who knows a guy.
I know a guy who knows a guy called an eye doctor. I'm like, yeah, this isn't probably the best journalistic practice.
Maybe have some eye doctors email us.
Yeah, email. Oh, email us to your doctor so we could be more responsible. But he basically was like, his doctor was friend, your eye heals really fast, and it was like the fact that like it took more than 4 days is bad. We're coming up on like, I mean, when was July 4th? Like a month and a half ago. Not great. So anyway. Not ideal. I'm a little worried for Najee. And again, I don't mean to make fun of it or anything. It's like his eye. That sucks.
Right.
But I don't think he's going to meaningfully contribute to the Los Angeles Chargers this year.
That's a bummer.
Right.
It sucks for him. It's
who is
awful.
going to be? I saw a report the other day that Greg Roman he's like, I believe in a committee. We're going to do a
So there's a
committee.
Marion Hampton, there's Hassan Haskins, there's Kamani Vidal, who is weirdly young, but probably the best pass catching guy.
He is the post type sleeper because
Yes.
people were in on him last
He's
year.
a
He didn't
6th
do
rounder out of
anything.
Troy. And then I think Vidal's going to be the pass catching guy for the Chargers. And then Hassan Haskins played for Harbaugh at Michigan, and that's enough.
Dude, he's 5'7", 215.
Just-
Kamani Vidal.
5'7"?
5'7" or 5'8",
He's
I
probably
guess.
the shortest.
215.
What do you mean
Just-
5'7", 5'8", I guess?
Well, he's 5'0", so he's like closer to 5'8".
Did you just give me a third decimal in a height?
5'077" is 5
second
foot
decimal.
and
5 foot
7/8.
Yeah.
Okay, that's like he'd be 5'8" on inch, but he's 5'7".
5'7" and 7/8.
He's 5'8" in shoes.
5'7". See, why can't we just say 5'7", 7/8"? We already have a whole metric system. Why can't we just say
5'7",
that?
5'7". He's 5'7" and 7/8. That's a mouthful. Just say 5'077".
But I don't know what 5'077" means.
how about
I just
That
told
means
you.
How about
77% of an
I
inch.
told
How
you the
about
last
this?
two are
I'm
7.
supposed to assume
Hold
the second
on.
The
decimal's
last
at
two
8?
are an eighth of an inch.
How about 5'7.8"?
7, but that's wrong. That's not what it is.
Yeah,
What do you mean?
close
It's
enough.
close enough. What are you? 5'7.75"? 5'7.7"?
No, he's saying he's 5'7" and 7/8 of an inch.
Yeah.
So 5'8" minus an eighth of an inch.
Yeah.
And you're trying to just add a different thing.
I think a decimal is an easier way to kind of understand that he's not quite 5'8".
I
but
will
he's a
take
little
the L
shorter.
here because big picture, I'm the one who said, DK said 5'8", and I kind of.
Well, yeah, I was
That
gonna
was
say,
my
can
fault.
I just say
That was the
5'7",
correct-
5'8"? Who gives a
5'8".
fuck?
Yeah. He's right. 5'8".
Whatever.
I just didn't know what 5'7" meant. I was like, what?
Greg Roman should just give up on his dual backfield bullshit. Play O'Marion Hampton is built to get 300 touches a year.
I
Give
know.
him the
The
ball.
guy- that guy, you know who's
The
not
fuck?
5'8"?
Spoken
Marion
like a
Hampton's
true fantasy
Well, it's
player.
just like
Hampton's
if there's
huge.
what are you doing? That's the whole point of having a guy like him is that he can always be on the field.
Marion Hampton's 6 foot 220.
Yeah, he's a
He's
truck.
a large person. All right. Any other injury? Quentin Johnson also, he had a concussion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He got
we'll see
knocked
what happens
out.
there. Any other injuries?
Darnell Mooney.
Darnell Mooney's still got
What
a
is the
shoulder
time-
thing.
They'll get him back this year.
I think the big picture takeaway from this long discussion is there is a class of unheralded, unsexy, boring receivers. Darnell Mooney, Khalil Shakir, Jaden Reed, Chris Godwin, that are to some degree injured and are going to be back for week 1. Chris Godwin's injury is most serious. And I'm like, I kind of don't want any of these older guys who are going to be hurt unless they drop. If they drop, that's cool because they're boring hurt, got the questionable. But I would way rather have the young guns of the Matthew Golden, the Ricky Parasol, even Tyler, these injured veterans, Mooney probably I'm more excited than the others, but I don't I almost would prefer shoulder injury to a low body thing, but I don't love veterans picking up injuries in training camp or whatever. I think we're way more excited about the young rookies.
Well, speaking of picking up injuries in training camp and young rookies, Ted McMillan not practicing, hamstring injury.
Don't like
whatever,
that.
man. That sucks.
It's so funny how a headline can change your mood because one headline says Ted McMillan not practicing due to a minor hamstring
Do they have
injury.
a
You're
grade?
like, okay.
And also the grade's like DEF CON where it's
A
not the way you
minor
think.
hamstring tear.
A minor hamstring injury. The next headline: Panthers temporarily shut down Teddarella
Shut
McMillan.
down.
Well, that's one of those where it's
Shut
like,
him down.
if you miss practice, is that
Are they temporarily shutting you down? Technically, literally, that's correct, I guess. They are shutting you down for that practice. We're so back.
The other thing with the hamstring grades and all they have a grade 1, grade 2 is I always get it wrong where it's like, oh, DEF CON 5. Oh God, nuclear war. No, that means we're fine.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like,
1.
yeah. I think that's the same thing. Grade 3 hamstring. I'm like, oh no. Anyway, other things, the contract, James Cook signed his contract with the Bills. Ended up getting I don't remember, $12 million a year, whatever. Congrats for him. It doesn't change anything for me. I don't think we priced it like it mattered. I think it's more just he's going to us. He's a late third round or a late third round, mid third round, mid fourth round pick.
Yeah, late third.
Probably unlikely to crazy outdo his value because he just had 16 touchdowns after having 2 and then 2 the previous seasons.
Yeah,
But
we
it's the
actually have
best
late
offense.
fourth.
Yeah, so we're kind of he's a fine player.
He's the
He will
poster
deliver.
child of
Terry McLaurin and James
reliant-
Cook are the poster
reliant
childs
on
of
touchdowns.
Which
negative
is-
regression coming.
But it's also priced in. So
Yeah.
he's just putting on the fairway. I don't think he's unlikely to fail you, unlikely to be the singular reason you won your league.
I know. It is funny. Remember how that one year we were like, Austin Eckler can't have 20 touchdowns again, and then he had 18?
And then we did it for Aaron Jones. He was like, he can't have 20 touchdowns again, and then he had 20 again.
Right. It's kind of
And
like
there is a world in which James Cook fits that archetype too, because he's a
Yes.
highly efficient,
Yeah.
elusive runner.
That's a great call.
And
James Cook will just have 16
You know
again.
what I mean? I'm
But
like,
he wasn't actually as involved in the passing game as you wanted him to
a good
be
call.
either, though. So it's
I don't know.
It's a tough one.
you can really talk yourself out of James Cook and into him. Like
Right.
you can be like Ray Davis. Oh, the negative regression in the red zone. All that stuff is coming, and then you're like, what if they just give it to him every
Right.
time they're inside the 5
Right.
again, and he has like 15 touchdowns, and he's great.
Any other? We have to talk about the bear and a low stakes conspiracy theory. But first, any other really nerdy depth chart picks and running backs? We don't have to spend much time. I just want to say, I think Tank Bigsby looked better than Travis Etienne in Jacksonville.
Yeah, boy.
Kendry Miller in New Orleans to me looks like clearly the backup to
He's looked
Alvin
pretty
Kamara.
good,
He looked
yeah.
good. I think the backup to Jonathan Taylor is DJ Giddens, who's a rookie, but also it's kind of weird because he's barely played running back that long. But Tyler Goodson's hurt, so that's a weird situation. I don't think there's any clarity. Honestly, I don't think you want the Colts running back if Jonathan Taylor gets hurt. It's not like the Falcons
Probably
where Bijan's backup. Tyler Algier ran for 1,000 yards his rookie. It's not like that. But any other really nerdy deep cut running back takes, DK?
I think that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
In that case, do you guys want to do low stakes conspiracy first? Well, I guess we have to report on the bear.
I know this is a huge story.
So-
huge story.
We have, for those uninitiated, we asked for low stakes conspiracy theories because high stakes conspiracy theories can affect lives. Low stakes ones are pretty fun. And we asked for, and please email your low stakes conspiracy theories to ringerfantasyfootball@gmail.com. And someone
the guy
wrote
who
in,
emailed the bear one must be just
Legend.
having the best time ever.
and he said, I go to this turtleback zoo in Essex County, New Jersey, and they have a bear. They claim they have a black bear. And it's like, I don't think they have a bear.
Named Jelly.
Named Jelly. The bear's named Jelly. He's like, Jelly's not there. Jelly's never in an enclosure. He's been there like 2 dozen times with his kids. Bear's never
He
there.
thinks-
Haven't
he
seen
thought
it.
the bear escaped and attacked a woman.
A black bear in the same range where the zoo is, the same national park.
Coincidence? I think not.
Yeah.
Essentially, is what he said.
So then we got all these other emails from like, we got like over 2 dozen emails from people that were like, I also live in New Jersey, also go to that zoo, never seen the bear.
I got
and
texts
we were
from
like,
people.
what
yeah.
the hell?
I got texts from people who were like season ticket holders at
Yes.
the zoo. Come to think of it, haven't seen this bear in like
we
2
heard from
years.
a lot of people
Yeah.
that were like, I've never seen this bear.
So much so that the Essex County Turtleback Zoo literally announced that they were going to go live on Instagram to show Jelly the fucking bear.
Craig, before they announced that they were going to go live, you should have seen like all the comments on their previous
We
like
flooded
5
them.
or 6 posts was just show us the bear.
Where's Jelly? Where's Jelly? So they literally acknowledged.
Show us the bear.
They didn't really acknowledge that it was our show, but they did do. I dubbed it. They went live stream with the bear, but it wasn't a live stream, and it was literally just them being like, "We have a bear. Shut up, you weirdos!" But they did show, and what they claim
Who's
was
a
that
weirdo?
what they claim was that Jelly is, 20 years old, which is old for a bear, and basically they're saying that it's Boo Radley. Like Jelly doesn't come out that much.
I mean, yeah.
Jelly comes out for breakfast at like 10:30 in the morning when the zoo opens and goes back in her enclosure and like it's just kind of like old and doesn't give a fuck about them kids. And that's their explanation. And so on one hand, I'm like, maybe this bear is just 20. On the other hand, all the people in the Instagram comments were like, this bear is like a crisis actor. Or like, this bear
Is a man in a bear
Is a
suit.
man in a bear
Even on
suit,
the
they
live stream, all the comments were like,
Fake.
I can see the zipper. Like, because there are zoos that have done this. Like, there was a famous
was in
case
China,
of
the panda.
a zoo in China
Yes.
had like dogs that were like painted like pandas.
And there was an animatronic whale shark at a zoo in China that was like a fake robotic whale shark.
Don't get mad at us. We're
But
just
this
looking
was
for
a-
the facts.
Dude, even my mom, who I went up, we're in New York City right now. I saw my parents before you guys got in. And my mom even was just like, how do we know that's the same bear? And I was like, wow.
Jinxie
I mean,
Cat.
we don't really know.
You spray painted Jinxie Cat? You spray painted a random cat to look like Jinxie?
How hard is it to get a bear? I could get
So,
a bear in like 3
what is-
days.
what is
I
your
could get
verdict?
a bear for you on the weekend.
You got a bear guy. I do have a bear guy. Actually, in college, one of my friends, his dad sent him bear meat. Like,
Whoa.
yeah, I know.
Okay, well,
I'm not going to
well,
name anyone because I
jeez.
think it was illegal. But it was black bear. Like,
Okay.
he ground it up. No, I didn't fucking eat it. It was mailed from Florida. I wasn't going to eat it. I mean, it wasn't sent in ice.
They mailed the bear meat from Florida.
It was not sent
Or
in
no,
ice.
maybe he
is how
brought
said
it home from Florida. I don't know.
Was it
I didn't
jerky
eat it.
or
I
was
didn't eat
it fresh bear meat?
No, it was like ground. They made burgers. I
let's-
did not eat it.
Let's get off of this.
My friend listening, you know who
Let's
you
get
are.
off of the bear meat.
Yeah, all my friends listening know exactly who this person
And
was.
were you around when he was eating the burger?
Yeah.
How did it
Well,
taste?
he's like true Florida man. Like he's like a true Florida man guy, and like
Like mullet.
Had he had burger before? I mean, bear before?
Yeah, plenty of times. He thought it was weird that I thought it was weird eating black bear. I'm like, we're 21. What are you doing? Like, and he just,
We're 21.
That's definitely, that's definitely like our liberal coastal elite blind spot is like hunting and killing the food you eat. That's definitely our collective blind spot.
Kill what you eat.
Yeah.
Anyway, jelly, probably alive. I think there's a preponderance of evidence.
Do you think
including like 15 people in the comments saying they either work at the zoo or have been at the zoo lately.
Do you think we're gonna like upset the conspiratorial wing of our coalition, where they're just kind of like, we're like, stop talking about jelly, and everyone's gonna be like, you're part of the cover up now.
Right. Well, this is how it goes, right? Like if we could just like double down and be like, actually, this is a bigger conspiracy
we prove
than we
it's
thought.
Jelly?
This goes all the way to the top.
The top.
And just like
big zoo,
enter the rabbit hole, or we'd be mature and we're like, hey, he's probably just an old bear.
Yeah, we could do the Aaron Rodgers and just be like, I have to go visit for myself. But I'm like, you know what? I won't lie. The bear being old and won't come out was weirdly relatable. I was like,
We tell Bill like, hey,
bear's like
take a week off to visit this bear and see if it's real, just like Aaron Rodgers, visiting the pyramids.
I don't think we're gonna be welcome at that zoo.
They're not gonna know it's us.
Yeah,
our photos are on the wall.
We gotta go in like
let's
costumes.
do a poll.
Perhaps
let's do a poll.
Disguises. Ooh, there we go.
Let's do a poll. What are the
bear?
options of the poll?
Is
So,
the guy?
do you think like basically like
do we need more proof?
That's the real jelly.
Do we need more proof?
Yeah. Do we need? I think that was somewhat sad. Put it this way.
Did they say anything specific about like the day?
Yes, they did.
Or whatever. Okay.
So, I will also just say, we're in New York,
I love
and people
that
are probably like, "Why didn't you go to the zoo?"
Definitely saw our clip.
Well, they beat us. Of course they did.
So good.
They beat us to the punch, though. And people are probably like, "We're in New York. Why aren't we going to the zoo?"
Hundreds of comments saying, "Show us the bear."
Dude, it was show us the bears. Where's jelly?
That was probably a really fun couple of days for them in the office, like at lunch, being like, what is this random fucking fantasy football podcast claiming our bear is fake?
I know, it's fun. The internet, man. Well, this is why
I wonder if it was fun for them or if they actually just hate us.
they might hate us.
It's probably both. It's
The
probably something to talk
zookeepers
about.
seemed annoyed. I will say, this is why I think,
Zookeeper seemed to.
which I get. Imagine taking care of this bear every day for 20 years, and we're like, we think he's dead. Like, that's probably pretty annoying.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, I admit.
Although there was a lot of evidence, like this bear has really been.
We were contacting in our
back there
defense
for years.
Net after. I mean, it's been a couple weeks now. I think we heard from 60 different people that were like, "I've never seen the bear," which is a lot.
You know what? Let me push back for a moment. So Essex claimed, this zookeeper claimed.
We keep using that word.
That Jelly comes out every morning at 10:30 to eat breakfast.
I don't know if it's 10:30 every morning, but the point is, the best time to see Jelly is in the morning when they open, and basically after her morning appearance, she just goes and sits in a part of the
so
queue.
She goes and watches cable news. For the rest
she's
of the
just
day.
Watches
exactly.
Fox News.
Exactly.
So in the morning is the best time to see Jelly. We've gotten plenty of emails. I forget the name of the guy who's like, I have 3 kids. They've been to the zoo more than anybody on this earth probably. They've never been in the morning. They've never been when they're feeding Jelly.
Well, this is, I will say, we have now been contacted by a few people who say that they did see Jelly recently. We had 2 people email us. This happened since we last spoke. 2 people did email
Burner
us
accounts,
and said they've seen,
zookeepers at Essex.
Well, how deep does it go? But yeah, we did get a couple of people saying, I saw Jelly. Like one person said 1 year ago.
Okay.
One person said 6 months ago. A couple of people said in July, like a month or 2 ago.
That's a bummer.
And so, but again, could have just been the replacement bear. We don't know.
Right. We still don't know.
The replacement.
The crisis actor bear.
Crisis actor. Don't tell Aaron Rodgers that. Maybe.
Yeah.
It would be easy to set up a few email accounts and just email
true.
some fantasy
Easy.
football podcast and
Sure.
say, hey, I saw the bear.
Saw the bear.
Case closed.
Let's set up a poll and basically like Jelly is.
Send me a photo with your license and your email address.
I want like one of those Reddit things where you have like a piece of paper. It says this date on it.
Yeah, holding up the newspaper.
Give us
That's
one
good.
of those and then we'll drop it. All right.
All right, Jelly. You're
All
off
right,
the hook
Jelly.
for
Yeah,
now.
I think
Jelly looked
I think
like,
Jelly's
is it
real.
a boy or a girl?
It's a girl. And her sister
Jelly looked
Jam,
like she was doing
her
great.
sister Jam passed away years ago. It was Jelly and Jam.
So perhaps.
Well, according to this live stream, she looks like she's doing great.
Dude, the comments were funny. A lot of people were like, she's moving like Eddie Lacy.
Well, she's 20.
Yeah, I know. That's old with barriers. Okay. Emails at RealFantasyFootballGmail.com. Fill out the poll. We'll figure out a poll for basically
These
like
zookeepers
this
are
Jelly
like,
needs.
I have to come in on a fucking Sunday and do a
I
live
gotta
stream.
go fucking live for these stupid 100 psychos who think this bear's fake.
Dude, all the comments too were just like, not the real dude. Yeah. All right. We
I
have
can
another
see
look.
the zipper.
Don't you have something better to do with your time, you weirdos?
Go back to your shanties.
Go back
Go back to your shanty.
This is zoo.
We're not hiding a bear.
All right. Another low stakes conspiracy. This one's more medium stakes, not high stakes, but it's like not as low as a bear.
Okay.
So Taylor Swift went on the New Heights. This was the biggest thing that's happened.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift went on the Kelsey podcast.
First podcast she's ever done.
First ever pod.
Really? Wow.
I think it was like the first must-watch podcast. I don't know if there's ever been a must-watch, but that was it. And honestly,
How'd she do on the podcast?
She did great.
Did you listen?
Yeah, she was good.
I think Taylor Swift fans themselves would probably be the first to tell you. You almost watch it and you almost realize that she's never just sat down for 1.5 hours or 2 hours and just been like totally normal, comfortable.
That's what
it was
shocked
certainly
me.
the most relaxed I've ever seen her in any form.
Basically a 2-hour conversation.
It was a 2-hour conversation.
It was a lot of her and Jason, and then Travis was just kind of sitting there being like,
just
"You're
stare,
the best.
He just
I love you
stared
so
at her.
much."
Like I actually was watching it. And it was
was
so
like-
he was just like, I can't. Can you believe? Like
She
the whole
was
thing
like
was like,
detailing how she won her rights back and the negotiations that went into that, and Jason's asking questions, and she's like, and Travis is just like, "You're the smartest person in the world."
Dude, literally, you know that
She's
old
like,
tweet he has
"Thanks,
of like
boyfriend."
the, you know the old
He's a wife guy.
literally at one
Girlfriend
point
guy.
at one point he's like, "You're so sexy when you use big words," and she's like, you're so handsome. Like she literally is like
They really gave like average millennial couple vibes of just
There you
like telling
go.
cheesy jokes, hand in each other's thighs type of vibe.
he's not acting. He actually said I'm the luckiest man in the world, and he's the only person of him from like, yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Like that was
She was talking about the moment she found out she was going to get the rights to her music back. She was like, so I was in the house. I was so excited. And I was like, man, I got to tell Travis. I go in the other room, like he's playing video games. And I was just like, what is happening? She's like, he took his headphones off. He's like, boys, like I got to go. And I'm like, I don't know. There's something about that. It's like, he's in there. He's playing Call of Duty
normal.
with the boys. And I was like, man, all right.
no, like she lived with him in
Normal
Kansas City.
people.
It seems for like months at a time.
Apparently
it was
they're
like
looking
super
for homes
normal.
in Ohio.
Yeah, it was super normal. I thought it was good. Like she was good. It was like even Taylor Swift fans. I think it was like honestly the most earnest.
She seems normal.
She
As
honestly
normal as you can be.
more normal than she has any
When you
business
have a
being as the
cult
most famous
following,
person in the
right.
world.
Right, which, yeah. And she knows what she's doing. She announces a new album, Life of a Showgirl. It's coming out in October.
So
There's a lot of rumors swirling.
this is the low
So
stakes
what's the
conspiracy.
what's the conspiracy?
So low
Yeah.
stakes
We might
conspiracy.
have the same one. Is this about the sourdough?
Yes, do it. I'm so confident.
This is so good.
Sourdough.
This is how, yeah, we'll get there.
What?
This is how she is a genius marketer, probably the
Right,
best
yeah.
marketer ever
She-
in media.
She like really
She understands her
blew
fans.
open the internet. She understands what we just did with the bear. Taylor Swift was the first artist to figure out that people will be like the bear, but what if the emails were fake? Like
The one lie she said on the pod is that she doesn't spend much time on the internet, which that can't. I mean, the whole point is that like she like knows so much about her fans and she hears what they're saying and she wants to make sure they're happy. But anyway,
I could see her just getting that printed out and handed to her
maybe
It's like the
But I don't
morning, the briefing,
for Trump's briefings that
Right,
are just
the
like
White
a
House
giant text that are just like
CIA
giving me an
briefing,
page.
I think a lot of celebrities lie. I'm like, we're not online. It's like Steph's online. LeBron's
Yeah,
online.
Steph Curry was checking his mentions at
They're all
halftime.
online.
He's like, I didn't see that.
Yeah. So she says that she's been getting into bread making. She likes
Oh,
she likes making bread,
He's just speaking to you guys.
specifically sourdough
Dude,
bread.
sourdough boys right here.
Sourdough bread. And she was saying that she had this one sentence that stood out as a little bit. It felt like inorganic.
The only
like forced.
thing that felt prepared. The only thing the entire time that felt prepared.
Like, you know, it's like an improv game where there's a secret word and you have to work it into the scene or
It doesn't
whatever.
like fit quite right.
Yes. She
Yeah.
goes, I think about bread 60% of the time.
it was the only thing that caught me of
And it
like,
was
what a weird
that's
thing to say.
A normal person would be like, I think about making bread all the time. Like, I'm obsessed with it.
And I noticed it watching it, having not known the theory. I just was like, she just said it weird.
So the
She's
theory
talking about how
is,
she's making sourdough.
Brand is going to be 60% or something.
No,
like
no.
that?
Well, no,
So
you will never get there.
the
But the
theory
point
is that she chose the number 60 specifically for a reason because
but this is also
She's into numerology
This is
like
during
Heifetz, right?
yes, this is during a 10-minute conversation about sourdough.
I can't believe we're doing this. This is great. She chose 60 specifically because the Super Bowl this year is Super Bowl 60.
Oh.
The Super Bowl this year is taking place in San Francisco, home to Boudin sourdough bread. The mascot for the Niners, Sourdough Sam.
Sourdough Sam's the
That's
name
the
of the
mascot?
mascot
For the
Yes,
49ers,
Sourdough
yes.
Sam.
Oh, I
So
didn't
people
even
think
know
she's
that.
I've been-
signaling to her fans that she will be performing at halftime.
She
of
said,
the Super
"I've been thinking about sourdough
Oh.
60."
60%
The
of the
sentence was, "I've been thinking about sourdough like 60% of the time."
And she does
and
she does little Easter eggs like that all the time.
This,
right?
yes.
it
It's
was
like what she's
this
known for.
conversation
Right.
was
giving her fans things to kind of nibble on and build theories around.
I forget if it was before or after, but she literally had an entire section where they asked her about the art of the Easter egg, and they because it's actually if you don't know the deal, it's actually crazy. It's smart, but the lengths they go to lay the Easter eggs, where it's like this is 180 days after whatever. Like it's really intentional. And she actually said, "I would never do an Easter egg about my personal life." I think implying like I will not drop an Easter egg about my
getting married or
pregnant, engaged, married. Not going to happen.
She's not turning that into content.
No, and she was like, things are about my professional world, like release drops, albums, anything about anything I'm excited about. And then like either 5 or minutes before after that is like this conversation. And I think that's, and the other part of this that no one's mentioning, which maybe it's so obvious to Taylor Swift fans that doesn't get talked about wider. Do you know how many shows she did of the Eras Tour? 149. No.
Okay.
What a strange number to stop at.
True.
I think she will do the 100th.
So the 150th is going to be the Super Bowl?
The 150th Eras Tour is going to be the Super Bowl halftime show.
Strange number to
stop
at.
That's crazy.
But didn't she have a cancellation?
But no, they extended it. I'm not going to.
I'm less convinced that she cares about 149 to 150. I think I'm more convinced about the 60
who
sourdough.
Stops at 149? That's not a thing.
That would drive Heifetz crazy.
Yeah, but this won't be the Eras Tour. It's like a different show.
Okay, so what do you think the halftime show is going to be? It's going to be one song from each era. Come on.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean,
did they decide the Super Bowl halftime show this early?
No.
Yes, they do. They announced Kendrick Lamar in September. I'm saying it's August 18th. We're recording this. At some point in the next month, we're going to hear that Taylor Swift's the halftime show. Yes, they announced it. I'm pretty sure if you ask me,
I don't think
Kendrick
she'll announce that until after the album comes out.
Oh, sure, fine. When is it? October
3rd or something.
Yeah, so whenever, are there smarter people than me can figure out, I mean, you're better at Hollywood than me. Whenever timing, but in conjunction with this album coming out, they're going to announce that she's doing the halftime show.
And I think a lot of people thought that, because she's never done it, that, oh, it's too small for her. After you've taken over the world, you have the most successful tour of all time, like the Super Bowl's too small. But, God, can you imagine if the fucking Chiefs make the Super Bowl and Travis Kelce's last game ever, his girlfriend is performing at halftime,
this is
and
why
they win the goddamn Super Bowl. It's probably going to happen. The second these guys started a podcast together, they have back-to-back seasons against one another in the Super Bowl.
This is why there's Rasheed Rice conspiracy theories.
Yeah, it's like this will probably all happen.
So they announced Kendrick last year, September 8th. But they would.
Wow, that's earlier than I thought.
But they would move it for Taylor's release because Taylor, frankly, is.
For sure they would.
Even they're not going to pay her because they don't pay the Super Bowl halftime artists because they're basically
like production.
However. They would be more flexible to give her to. No, she doesn't need to be paid. She's gonna make more. But like they would move the release date they typically want to the NFL if Taylor Swift would agree to do it. She's the only person like too big for. There even beyond like no one's too big for it. But
Except for Coldplay.
Maybe they could collab.
They could collab. I think this is going to happen. I actually think this is going. I think this is a conspiracy. I totally believe she's going to the halftime show. They're going to announce. It's August 18th. I think by October 18th, she's confirmed.
The other thing I think she's going to announce is I think she's going to play at the Sphere
in Vegas.
Yeah, I do think that's going to happen. I think Life of a Showgirl in Vegas, like her new album as like a little month-long residency in Las Vegas is like that's like a new medium for her. She's visual now. Like she puts a lot of effort into like the music videos, all that stuff. I think her at the Sphere is going to happen.
The best take, that's like the best take I've heard from you. I got to tell you, not getting to see the Grateful Dead at the Sphere.
Damn.
No, I think it's smart. I'm so jealous of everyone who's been to the Sphere. If anyone listening has been to the Sphere, and I know like I'm going to say that word a lot. I can say it.
I would like to go there.
I am so upset I didn't get there. No offense to the Backstreet
I'd like
Boys.
To be
don't
part
want to see
of
them.
Inside joke one day.
I don't have the Grateful Dead like lore. My parents aren't that into them, but like I really regret not every video I've ever seen of anyone's goes talks about it like it was a transformative experience. I'm so upset I haven't been. I think I will try. I guess there's no chance you're going to figure out.
Those tickets are going to be
they
so
don't resell them though.
Expensive.
No, they don't resell them. Like James Dolan again. It's the the Onion meme of like the worst. Heartbreaking. The worst person you know made a great point.
Yeah.
James Dolan is like heartbreaking. The worst person you know reinvented live entertainment. Like James Dolan solely owns Madison Square Garden and Sphere. There's no resale. They have a system,
really?
And they do not resell tickets. I think the Grateful Dead tour was $750 a pop,
really?
And there was no they will let you resell it on their place. Bruce Springsteen started doing this 10 years ago. He didn't want his tickets resold, but I don't know if he invented it. But like the Sphere, as far as I know, you can't just go on SeatGeek or StubHub and like just get $5,000 to pay. Like they make you do it on their thing. I'm sure you can try, but like there's risk of a QR code or whatever, the same ticket being used. But like you can't, they cap it. And so the Taylor Swift, like obviously it's Swift, you work out your own deal, but like that would be pretty crazy if you did the Eras. That's a good take.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, maybe that's not interested in it, but
Right.
I could see that happening as her. It's like, what else? I don't think she's going to want to go on tour again right after this album comes out, after what she just did. And the Sphere makes perfect sense.
If you that's smart, because the other thing is, it was like, I mean, at this point we're doing Taylor Swift stuff, and I don't know what I'm talking about. But I'm
20
kinda like,
minutes
how
on
do you
Taylor Swift?
follow up?
She's
just
honestly,
gonna
she's,
say.
she
But
is-
I'm like, what are you gonna?
Wrap it up, B. Wrap it up.
I know, but I'm like, but you can't follow up. I don't think she wants to follow it up with anything that would feel lesser than the Eras tour. Like you just did the bar was set at like, it's going to be like 4-ish hours every time, and it's going to visually look, and she kept talking about this, it's going to visually look different every 20 seconds. And she said, it looks like scrolling. She wanted people to get amnesia from the tour, where it's 4 hours, you're captured, and then you leave, and you're like, I don't even know what I saw. That's also an interesting, and she said that was top of mind for her. That's where the Sphere is also interesting. But like, how are you going to follow? You're going to do a regular tour after this album that's going to top what she just did? Like, I don't think she would want to do something
different.
less impactful.
Yeah.
Well.
We'll see. Probably won't happen.
Totally.
Yeah.
Remember when we thought the relationship was fake?
I know. Can we run that clip?
I stand by it. I mean, come on. Like, the odds of me being correct were high there.
You know what makes me feel better?
We
Two
spent
famous
20
people
minutes
dating?
talking about how brilliant of a businesswoman she is.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you know what's funny?
Well,
Because our first thought was this is fake, and you know what? Jason Kelsey says earlier on, he's like, when Travis told me, he was like, I did not believe you.
yeah, I mean, come on.
Which makes me feel better. Jason Kelsey was like, I did not believe you when he told me.
Yeah,
this.
it's like, do you believe Tom Cruise and Anna de Armas are really dating? I'm going to go out on a limb and say probably not, and they won't be together in 6 months. But I guess I could be wrong.
Now they're gonna.
They'll probably get married.
Yeah, they're gonna get married.
Of course, they're also
Oh my
trying to
God.
sell a movie right now together. Tom Cruise and Anna de Armas.
Oh,
It's like, you know.
interesting.
All right. I think that's it. I think that basically covers it. We have a
Yeah.
live show in New York. We have a ton of shows coming up. We have a live show in New York, and we have another show we're going to record here, World Trade on Wednesday. And then we have a lot of shows coming out. But yeah, if you want our rankings, fantasyfootball.theringer.com, we're going to get those updated this week with some of the changes we talked about today. And then, yeah, this is like high time. Rankings, drafts, everything. So, yeah, follow us on Instagram.
Did you say we're going to LA after this?
Oh,
together?
yeah, sorry. We're going to LA. We're going to be in person for like the next 2 weeks. So we're
Yeah.
going to get sick of each other. We'll give you tales of our travels and Taylor Swift
I
conspiracies.
know. Unfortunately, we're not sitting next to one another on our flight home.
I know.
We could try
Well,
and fix that.
Yeah,
one
we
day
try.
we'll talk about DK's flight here,
Oh my
which was
God.
crazy. But we were not going to do that now. But yeah, so we're together next. So follow us on Instagram if you care about our.
We're also a week out.
Travails
We are a
together.
week out from our live draft on YouTube.
Our live draft, the Ringer Fantasy Football League's coming
Next
back.
Monday.
Yes.
Yeah, Bill, Mal, Chris, Sean, cousin Sal, House, like Van Lathan's going to be
Yeah.
the three of us. Like it's going to be.
Later this week, we're going to talk about the punishment. What the punishment is
right.
officially going to
Yeah,
be
so we have
for
to
this
figure that out
league.
with Bill. Yeah, Bill's going to be the adjudicator.
Yes.
I think. Of,
yes. So keep
what the
sending us
punishment is.
emails. We're going to
Yes.
compile a bunch.
That is important. Yeah, email us the ideas, and again, things people with kids will do, but they have to be funny. And stop with love to everyone. You're not the first person to suggest doing a rewatchables of some
Something
kind. Like,
rewatchables. later.
with love, that has been suggested 500
They're
times.
all funny.
They're all funny, but like
Unlikely to happen.
not going to happen. But also, there's no iteration of the rewatchables that is going to happen
Like,
that hasn't been
yeah.
suggested already. So think of it some other kind, and we will figure out what the punishment's going to be with Bill later this week. And then yeah, that
Chris
draft on
Ryan's
Monday.
been
It's
trying
going
to
to be
get
live on YouTube.
Sicario in the rewatchables for 5 years. I don't think whatever your idea is probably not going to happen.
Going to be live on YouTube. The draft. It's the Ringer Fantasy Football Draft
Yeah.
on Monday.
Uh-huh.
Do we know what time it is? We're not
like
yet.
1 or 2 o'clock. It'll be
Okay.
the afternoon Pacific
Fake
time.
So eat 4 or
Fake
5
time.
Eastern time.
Yeah, yeah,
Got it.
yeah.
That's super different.
10 people, snake draft. It's going to be great. All going to be in person.
Email us punishments for that. Email us any actual football questions you have. And then if you want to see, like, we're going to put up a bunch of shenanigans on the Instagram of just like shit we're doing. If you want to see that on our story or whatever, just Ringer Fantasy Football on Instagram and TikTok too. So thank you, Craig. Thank you, DK. Thank you, Ronak. Thank you, Carlos and Kai. Thank you, Lord.
Lord.
Thank you, 98 Degrees.
Oh, yeah.
I don't
Wow.
know who that is.
Like a 90s
I don't think I've actually
boy
used that
band.
one before.
The 90s, early aughts.
I thought you were going to go. I was
It
so confident
Nick
you're going to go to New York.
Lachey or Late
Yes, it was.
Lachey.
It's Lachey.
I don't know any.
Christ.
Can you just tell? I'm not going to
Just
Google
kidding, I
them
didn't
on this.
really do that.
Tell me what am I look? What's 98 degrees?
It was a boy band.
It's
something
like
like
it
that.
was like the counterpart to Backstreet Boys.
They're like they
Yeah, well, all
crawl so
those.
Backstreet Boys could walk in one direction.
They
could
were
run or
like
whatever.
tier 2 or tier 3.
What were
NSYNC and Backstreet Boys were tier 1.
Got it.
I actually don't remember like what their
They
defining
had one
songs
big
were.
song that if you tell me the name, I'll probably remember it.
Can you
I
sing it?
do because of you, true to your heart.
Sing it.
Wait,
Wait, which song?
I'm trying to remember the big ones that they did.
I
We
do,
have these Spotify
Because I
logos
get-
behind us, and we're just like,
No,
what was the
I
name of
get
that
so
song?
I get
I do
Backstreet
cherish
Boys.
you. I don't know.
I get
What?
Backstreet Boys and 98 Degrees, and there was another one.
NSYNC?
In Sync. I get them all mixed up. Like I don't know the
Really?
difference.
Well,
Yeah.
Because he was in
98 degrees?
college at that. Like he was like Dude, I'm not gonna lie.
Craig is upset with me.
Backstreet Boys and NSYNC were a big deal. Are we gonna get sued for this? Can we do this? Ronak's like, no. I don't know if he said no to getting sued or no to we can't.
I like
do it.
98 degrees on Spotify. It's 98 with a little degree sign. It's not degrees.
I don't know this song.
That was literally a pre-SEO. You can tell that was before they had to type anything in.
There was a song that I knew by them, right?
Sing it,
Let's
DK.
see.
Best song.
I Do is the best.
Was it the?
What are these
Hardest
guys up to now? Oh, who just told me the other day that
Nick Lachey hosts.
speaking of Anthony, who's the Fatone? NSYNC?
Joey Fatone.
Joey Fatone
Yeah.
is on Broadway doing a show.
Oh, that's nice.
I guess I should Google
Oh, yeah, Nick
this.
Lachey does Love Is Blind.
I'm glad they found something.
He also had a show with Jessica Simpson back in the day.
That was so earnest. I'm glad Nick Lachey found something.
Like, I am.
They're gonna make it.
Yeah.
You know, they're all right. I mean, it's tough. It's a tough situation being famous young. It's weird. You know, the Backstreet guys.
You're going through it right now.
Please. Joey Fatone is a Broadway musical, and Juliet.
Oh,
And
he's
it's
in
about,
Anne Juliet.
He's in
That
Anne
show's
Juliet.
huge.
Anne Juliet, and I think it's basically if Juliet didn't die at the end of Romeo and Juliet. It's just like after
I've
that
heard it's
whole
great.
thing.
Don't know this one either.
I feel like they were a little.
Craig, we were like 4 years old.
But
It's a boy
there
band.
was a 98 degree song.
I
think it's because of you.
100% is. It's just
I don't
so
know.
like.
Our entry tickets for the World Trade Center are in like 8 minutes.
Oh, all right, let's go.
We should probably go.
Check IG. DK's never been here.
Yeah, DK's never been in New York. Check the
yeah.
Instagram. We're just doing his first for everything on Instagram. So check us. Bring your fantasy football.
All right.
Goodbye, everyone. Must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.